Welcome to Edmond, the Aquatic Center. It's the Class 5A OSSAA States Championship Swim Meet, the Ford Game of the Week on your view. Hi everybody, Mike Ziegenhort alongside me, Max McKnight. We had the 6A earlier today, and we had 3 state records broken in 6A.
A lot of state records.
5A, we got a showdown. We're going to have brand new champs in 5A because last year's champs all moved up to 6A.
That's right.
So who's going to be in contention?
Looks like on both sides, men and women, Altus is going to be in the thick of things. Look for their competition on the men's side to be Bishop Kelly. Probably going to be looking at Carl Albert to contend with him on the girls' side.
So some tough action coming up in just a few minutes. This is a great time. It takes about 3.5 hours to run through this whole meet. And prior to the meet, it's something that they've done the last few years, a very special event. They had a special race between a couple of athletes that got the opportunity to jump in the pool. Gentlemen, a 10th grader, Mason Pickett from Altus, and 6th grader, Kelson Gibbons from Hera. What a great atmosphere it was here, Max. The entire stadium, the swim area was packed with players and athletes.
Hopefully we'll see it here on the replay on the bulkhead there. You know, it was just packed with swimmers that'll be competing later on in the afternoon. Everybody in the stands was really behind them. Great to see that enthusiasm from the competitors, and there's a good shot of the fans, the swimmers, I mean. So everybody got behind these 2 young men.
It's great to see them out there putting out the effort. The stands behind us, it's full like it was this morning for 6A. They were all clapping and on their feet, and what a great opportunity for these 2 young kids to get out there and to show what they can do in the pool.
Really great. You know, as we were doing 6A, we could look out our window, see people lining up 4 hours before the doors open, 6 hours before the meet starts. So the fans are really ready for the action to get started here.
And we are to the first race of the day, or race of the night, the 200-yard medley relay. This is Class 5A. Girls action first. This will be the B final. Only 5 teams in it: Mount St. Mary, Bishop McGuinness, Fort Gibson, MacArthur, and Bethany High School. Again, the 200-yard medley relay. They will start in the pool as they start with the backstroke. The 5A championships are underway.
Medley relay composed of 4 swimmers, each swimming a different stroke. It starts off with the backstroke. As we can see, those swimmers are in the pool. They do start in the pool, must swim on the back. They can at the turn towards the breast, take 1 arm or 1 double arm pull. Must be towards the back when they come off the wall and surface by the 15-meter mark. As they come back through here, they'll transition to the second leg swimmers will swim the breaststroke. They come in here at the touch. Looks like Lawton Mack in first with a 33.7. Fort Gibson not far behind them with a 34.5, and then a 36.54 with McGuinness. Breaststroke, it is a forward start from the block. Once they have initiated an arm pull, they can take 1 downward propulsive kick. Their second arm pull, their head must surface by the widest part of their second arm pull. Got a real close race going on out here in 4 and 5 between Fort Gibson and MacArthur as we switch off to the butterfly stroke. These third leg swimmers hit the water. Butterfly again is swum on the breast. Any number of kicks can be taken off the start or off each wall, although that first arm pull must bring them to the surface of the water by the 15-meter mark. Still real close between Fort Gibson and MacArthur, although lane 4, Fort Gibson has extended a little bit of a lead. Looks like from here about a body length, maybe a little less, as we turn it over to the freestylers.
And Fort Gibson during the evening is a team we need to keep an eye on as well.
They could be a spoiler in this as well on the girls' side here. Really probably on both sides, actually.
Yeah. And it's the final leg now for the girls' 200-yard medley relay.
Fort Gibson stretched out their lead here. Still have 1 butterflyer in the water for Mount St. Mary's. They'll be making that exchange here as the leaders of the race finish up. Winner of the 200 medley B final for the girls is Fort Gibson with a 2:12.90. Lawton Mack with a 2:14.87 in second. Bethany in third with a 2:24.24 as Mount St. Mary's freestyler cycles through the rest of her event.
So Fort Gibson wins the B final. Always important to pick up points. You know, each team will get points, but the higher you finish, the more points you get in each race. And then the A final, the points are more than what they were in the B final.
That's exactly right. The points are doubled during all the relays. We do have 3 relays today, so all those points double. First place, which would be the winner of the A final, scores 20. The B final that so that would double, would be 40. The winner of the B final here in this relay got 18. Second place, 14, 12, 10, on down the way to 2 points for 16.
All right, it's time for the girls' A final in the 200-yard medley relay. Ulagantalala in the number 1 lane. Duncan High School, lane 2. Altus, lane 3. Heritage Hall Chargers are in lane 4. Carl Albert, lane 5. Metro Christian out of Tulsa in lane 6. Bishop Kelly in lane 7. And Hera in lane 8. The state record in this, 151.09, posted by Stillwater last year. And Stillwater girls were the 4-time defending state champs in 5A. They got bumped up to 6A this year.
They did. They had a good meet this morning, but be looking to crown a new champ on the girls' side here this afternoon.
If you missed it, Bartlesville won 6A again for the 5th straight time. 19th time in school history they have a state championship. Swimmers jump into the pool. Again, they have to start in the pool.
Good shot there of the starters, of the swimmers getting ready for the start. Wait on the command from the starter. Off to go. Looking around the pool at the officials, looks like a good clean start as they transition down off that first turn.
Heritage Hall has the early lead.
Heritage Hall is expected, had about a 3-second time advantage as the top qualifier from yesterday. They are going to exchange first with a 27.71. Not far behind them in second was Metro Christian with a 29.24, and then Carl Albert with a 29.77. Does look like already in that just short amount of time have Dylan Beeson for Heritage Hall as the breaststroke who really has extended that lead. Lane 6, Metro Christian seems to have a little bit more of a solid hold on second, but Altus in 3 and Carl Albert in 5 have a close race going for third. Metro Christian snuck in there and ended up in first place after that touch, 104.66 to a 105.64 for Heritage Hall.
And they picked up the pace and won that split by 2 seconds.
I'm not sure we didn't have a bad touch there, because Heritage Hall touching first here after the butterfly with a 128.53. Metro Christian a 130.67, so could have been that transition, but it could have been a soft touch on the last exchange. Heritage Hall does have command of this race. They cycle back down here on the last 25. They are going to win this going away. Heritage Hall with a 156.04 takes the win in the A final. Carl Albert sneaks in to take second with a 158.18. Altus comes back with a 2 flat 45 for third. MCA holding on for a 202.25 for fourth.
I'm glad you picked up on that, because I was going to, after you said that,
I didn't think they changed
I thought
places.
Heritage Hall was ahead of Metro Christian
They were
at that
ahead
point.
with 10 to go, and I looked up at the board to read the times. Thought, well, something must have happened that I didn't see here close to us. But
yeah, so again, Heritage Hall, the Lady Chargers win it. Carl Albert second, and Altus Bulldogs coming in third in your 200-yard medley relay. The boys 200-yard medley relay, only 2 teams in this event. And they are set to face off. Mount St. Mary and Ulagantalala will square off against each other. State record 139.91. the girls, the boys also have to start in the pool with the backstroke. It's not something you see too often, is it, where you just have two teams in an event?
It's really not. We were short two teams in the girls B final. We're short 6 teams here. I think part of that has to do with some of the teams moving up to 6A last year. You know, some of the 5A schools, fewer teams, and as well as, you know, not as large teams that may not have enough to field this many relays. So these guys come back through here to complete the backstroke leg. Mount St. Mary's in first with a 33.65, but only about 3/10 behind them. Oologah-Talala in second with a 33.96. I think it's important to point out that each swimmer that comes to the state meet can swim in up to 4 events. No more than 2 of those can be individual events. So that could have something to do with how they fill their relays. A swimmer could swim 1 individual and 3 relays, but not the other way from that. They can only swim 2 individual events.
And 4 total.
4 total.
So if you do 2 individual, you can only do 2 other teams.
Right. Mount St. Mary continues their lead with a 108.89 at the halfway point, with Oologah-Talala at second with a 111.09. Mount St. Mary seems to be extending that lead. Here's the butterflyer, comes back down through the field. Call that a 5 or 6 body length lead from where we sit. Freestyle swimmer. Kind of interesting in a lot of sports. You know, you have the tuck rule and the Brady rule and all that. In swim, there are a few rules. They changed the breaststroke kick rule a few years ago. They called that the Kitajima rule. Now there's a Lochte rule that when freestyle swimmer on an IM or a medley relay, when they come off the wall, they can be towards the back, but before they have any propulsive movement, they have to be towards the breast. So here as we finish out the B final, Mount St. Mary does hold on for the win with a 2:03.06, with Oologah-Talala in a 2:08.86.
So Mount St. Mary wins that. They pick up 9 points.
18 actually.
18,
doubled.
yeah, it's double. I keep forgetting it's double.
Yep.
I'm glad you're here.
and you know, the other thing, part of that is, you know, think about all those points that behind 10th place that are just out there. You know, nobody gets those.
Nobody gets them.
All becomes a strategy deal for the coaches. Are you better off to hold somebody out of an individual event and put them in an extra relay for those double points?
Yeah, exactly. Heat number 2, the boys A final. In lane number 1, you have Duncan Guyman in lane 2, Carl Albert in lane 3, Altus lane 4, lane 5, it's Bishop Kelly. Ward Gibson's team will sit in the 6th lane and race against Memorial, lane 7, and MacArthur High School in lane number 8. This is the boys' 200-yard medley relay. State record, 139.91, set by Altus in 2016. So 3 years ago, they set the state record. And they are the favorite. They ran they raced a 142.35 yesterday in the prelims.
I think we'll see kind of how we expect the day to shake out. You have Altus and Bishop Kelly right here side by side in this event. We'll see how this sets the tone for the rest of the afternoon.
3, 4, and 5 between Carl Albert in 3, Altus in 4, and Bishop Kelly in 5. Clean start.
Look good from where I start. Oh, look out there in Altus. From Altus, Caleb Shive. Really good start, really good underwaters. Not sure he has the lead at this point, but just a great start that I noticed from him. Seems like he's popped up here and may have taken just a slight lead. But boy, down here in lane 3, Carl Albert making a race out of it. See which one of these guys touches first.
Kelly.
Is Bishop Kelly out in 5 with a 25.16, 25.46 for Altus, 25.51 for Carl Albert. Looks like the breaststroker for Carl Albert has snuck out to a little bit of a lead, but Altus and Bishop Kelly not giving anything away. We come back here, get ready for our butterflyer to hit the water. It is going to be Carl Albert touching first.
Yeah, John Ryan Cook with the breaststroke tearing it up.
52.65 for Carl Albert. Bishop Kelly in second, 54.25 Altus with a 55.96. Looks like Bishop Kelly has closed up a little bit on that lead. These guys seem to be coming back stroke for stroke, but Altus not having any of it. They're battling back. We turn it over to these freestylers, have to see what happens. Lane 5, Bishop
Kelly took the lead back.
Yes, still has the lead back. 117.7, 119.06, Carl Albert. With Altus 119.24. Altus has gotten back up into a race for second place. Not sure anybody's going to have anything for Carl Albert. I'm sorry, Bishop Kelly out in 5. When in fact, Bishop Kelly is going to win it with a 140.06. Second goes to Altus with a 142.27. And Carl Albert just a second behind them with a 143.38. Great race by those young men.
1500s, they were off the state record. The state record, 139.91. They finished at 140.06.
That was quite a race. See that back and forth between those three schools. We'll have to see how this unfolds the rest of the day.
So Bishop Kelly finishing first. The team of River Kirkland, Paul Hunt, Walker Wilson, and Ian Wilson. And Walker Wilson really picked up the slack because they were behind by about 2 seconds going into that race.
A lot of back and forth in that race.
Yes, it was. We're going to take a break. You're watching the OSSAA Class 5A State Swimming Championships on your view, the Ford Game of the Week.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month, the place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series, and the brand with the most J.D. Power IQS and Appeal Awards. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner. Get 0 for 72 months with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days, plus $2,500 cash back on F-150. Only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
For many kids, just showing up to school is a challenge. Staying through graduation is even harder. So at communities and schools, we do just what our name says. Our staff brings a community of resources to meet each student's needs right in their school, doing whatever it takes to keep kids focused, so they see what we see, a bright future.
My name is Dylan Straup, and I am the General Manager of iFly Indoor Skydiving in Oklahoma City.
OSSAA State Swimming Championships. Things are just getting started. You want to watch the replay of today's meets? The 6A will be played Monday at 7:30. You missed that when you want to tune in. We had some state records broken, and Bartlesville girls won another state championship. And then the 5A, this one will be played Tuesday at 7:30, only on your view, Cox, Channel 3.
Okay, it's Ford Truck Month, and here's how it works. You take Ford F-150, work in best-in-class towing and payload, sweeten up the offer, and boom. You save a stack of cash on the brand with the most J.D. Power, IQS, and Appeal awards. And it's America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. It's buy now time, people. Get 0 for 72 months with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days plus $2,500.
It's about...
My name is Dylan Stroup, and I am the general manager of iFly Indoor Skydiving in Oklahoma City. So iFly is a multifaceted company.
We're back in Edmond at the Aquatic Center, and we are ready for the next race, the girls' 200-yard freestyle B final. And here's a look at your racers. Camry May from Duncan.
This is Jessica Massey. Michaela Seal out of Carl Albert.
Layla Solomon from Newcastle. A couple of Ulaga-Talala racers. Bridget Herrera and Cameron Osborne. Lane 7, Jessica Harvey. Lane 8, Emma Popsipeal.
200 freestyle, 8 lengths to the pool. Not unexpectedly, it's a pretty tight race up to the 25, but we've got 175 to go still, so we'll see how it shakes out as these ladies cycle down through here for the first 50. Down here in lane 3, it's going to be Michaela Seal touching first with a 30.85. Good little lead over Layla Solomon from Newcastle with a 32.61. Over in lane 8, Emma Pospisil from Grove with a 32.92. Have to keep our eyes open on lane 8 over there. Michaela Seal in 3 from Carl Albert. Good steady stroke. Has a good kick going, catching a few breaths along there. One of the keys in the 200 is, well, later on in the day when we get to the 50 freeze, you'll see some people swim that with and not take a breath. In the 200, you need to get up and you need to start breathing early. You'll keep oxygen in your blood. If you want to have legs in the last 50, you need to give them some air in the first 50. So watching these young ladies get some good breathing cycles going through this course of this race. Michaela Seal continuing to maintain her lead as she comes back here, get ready to touch for the 150. See what she has left for the final 50. Does have about a 4 or 5 body length lead. Looks like real tight race for second though. We've got Michaela with a 1:43.45. Cameron Osborne from Ulaga, 1:49.15. 1:49.33 from Layla Solomon from Newcastle. Not far behind her is Jessica Harvey from Hera. Michaela continues to maintain control of this race. Looks like she's going to come back for an easy win here in the B final. Still a pretty tight race for second. Oh, Michaela seems to be fading a little. Hopefully she's got enough pool left to maintain this lead and hold on for this win. But boy, over there in lane 6, Cameron Osborne made it a little closer than I would have expected with 50 to go. Michaela does win with a 2:25.79. Cameron with a 2:26.85. 2:28.77 for the third finisher, Jessica Harvey from Hera, in the women's B final of the 200 free.
Michaela Seal of Carl Albert just inching ahead of Cameron Osborne. Osborne just a sophomore and really put a nice kick in there to that last.
Yes, she did.
25 yards, almost caught her.
Almost caught her. Another 10 yards.
Yeah,
she was wishing it was a 2:10. Michaela was glad it was a 200. Here come our A finalists.
Congratulations and a great effort by all those ladies. A finalist, Haley Harrington, a freshman from McGinnis in lane 1. Haley Frith from Malthus, a senior, lane 2. Anna Swarkaz in lane 3, sophomore out of MacArthur. Isabel Packard, a senior out of Metro Christian, in lane 4, and she's definitely the favorite in this race. Kylie Catton from Hera High School in lane 5. Brianna Shaw, junior from Carl Albert. Lane 6, Gentry Novotny in lane 7, a freshman from Fort Gibson. And her teammate, Rosie Glover, a senior also from Fort Gibson.
Long whistle brings them up on the blocks. Good view there of how it looks from the stands and from our perspective. From up here, we have a little different perspective than the starter and deck ref have, but from where we sit, looked like a good, clean start. Starter's looking for everybody to come down promptly to his command. Good starter, kind of puts himself in the race, just considers himself one of the swimmers. Looks for everybody to come down responsively to his command. Once they all get set for a start, he sends them. Early lead goes to Isabel Packard as expected, 26.56. Kylie Catton from Hera with a 27.56 in second, 29.44 for Schwerkost from MacArthur in third. Isabel Packard continues to add to her lead here at 100, I'm sorry, at the halfway point, 55.13. Has a little over 3-second lead over Kylie Catton from Hera for the 58.30. Schwerkost continues to hold on to third with a 1:02.68. Does kind of seem to, if they swim it according to how it's seeded, should go 4-5-3, 6-2-7-1-8. Should be kind of a classic V formation. Does seem to be how it's, though the field has spread, seems to be how it's kind of shaken out at this point.
And Packard continues to increase her lead.
With 50 to go, Isabel with a 1:24.72 in first. Catton with a 1:31.23. Isabel seems to kind of be adding a second and a half or 2 seconds each 50 to her lead. She's turned on the final 25, just ready to head under the backstroke flags, see where she ends up here. Going to touch in first, Isabel Packard with a 1:54.67. About 3 seconds off the state record. In second, we do have Kylie Catton with a 2:03.91. And a Schwerkost in third is going to bring it home. Looks like we've swapped places a little bit. Going to be a close race for fourth, although in second, in lane 2, Frith from Altus comes home in fourth with a 2:19.72.
So Isabel Packard out of Metro Christian, your champ. Kylie Catton second, and a Schwerkost from MacArthur, a sophomore, finishes third.
We're currently at capacity in the seating area. If you decide for any reason to leave the facility, you will have to wait in line to get back in. If you have other family or friends coming to the meet tonight, you may want to.
And the boys' 200-yard freestyle is ready to get underway. The B final. Max, is so crowded here, they just had to make an announcement. The seating up top is at capacity.
They just announced
that
that
if you leave, you got to wait in line to get back in. So you can't go to the bathroom, you can't go get anything. You're done. You got to stay in your seat the rest of the night.
That's it. Pressure's on now, isn't it?
Mason Thibaud from Duncan in lane 1. Kyle Sutherland in lane 2 out of Plainview. Tony Owens from Mount St. Mary, lane 3. Gage Story from Hera. John Perdue from Altus. Larry Crooks in lane 6 from Fort Gibson. Sebastian Lorenzo, a junior out of Bishop McGinnis in lane 7. And Nicholas Saliba, a sophomore out of MacArthur, in lane 8.
Found out this morning that the seating capacity upstairs where the main spectators are is 780. On the floor where the swimmers and coaches and all are, there's different sections of bleachers. That can hold about 750. So we're apparently at about capacity of 1530 here this afternoon.
There's a line of people waiting to get in upstairs.
People were waiting 4 hours to get in before. Now that it started, they're still waiting to get in.
While the 6A was going on this morning, the people for the 5A were sitting outside. They had their backs to the window. They couldn't even see anything in there.
We cycle here to the halfway point. Still a pretty close race. Is going to be Gage Story from Hera in lane 4, touching first with a 57.55. Larry Crooks from Fort Gibson.
You got 4 teams within about a second and a half of each other.
Just hard to tell them apart there as they touched. Sebastian Lorenzo from McGinnis over in 7 rounded out the top 3. As they come back here to the 150 touch, getting ready to, that final 2 lengths of the pool is going to be Gage Story touching first again, 129.86. Larry Crooks closed it up a little bit, 130.72. Tony Owens, Mount St. Mary in third with a 1:32.15. Crooks seems to be cranking it up a little bit over in 6th from Fort Gibson. Race is on now. It's going to be kind of come down to which of these guys has the most legs and the most lungs left.
Looks
Gage
like
Story
Larry
really
Crooks.
going, but I think Larry Crooks is going to have enough to get it done here in the B final. Yes, he does.
He does. Larry Crooks of Fort Gibson came from behind to win that one.
2:01.91 to Gage Story's 2:02.17. About 2/10 of a second separate those two. Down here in lane 2, Kyle Sutherland from Plainview sneaks in for third with a 2:05.22. A lot of give and take in that race too. Saw some lead changes in that.
Yeah, Crooks picked up the pace he trailed going into that final 50 yards and really turned it on to come away with the win. Next up, your boys 200-yard freestyle. Canyon Hart in lane 1 from Altus as they are paraded in. Christian Hayes from Fort Gibson, a senior in lane 2. Cody Cox, a senior from Newcastle in lane 3. Jack Callan, one of the top swimmers in the state, from Bishop Kelly in lane 4. His brother Patrick Callan has the state record in this event at 1:40.81. Caleb Putman in lane 5, a sophomore from Carl Albert. Sam Duda, sophomore from Bishop Kelly, is in lane 6. His teammate River Kirkland, a junior in lane 7. And then Toby Ford is in lane 8, a junior from Carl Albert. This is your boys 200-yard freestyle. The state record 1:40.81 set by Patrick Callan from Bishop Kelly back in 2016.
Talked a little to Jack Callan's coach earlier today and a little bit yesterday. He's got some goals in mind for the weekend. They kind of let me in on some goals he has, and I'll just kind of track those here as he cycles down through here, see what he can get done compared to his goals. Something to take note of too is Bishop Kelly has 3 swimmers in this final, so they really stand to rack up some points here as expected. Callan went out a little faster than we were expecting, 23:03. Cody Cox from Newcastle not far behind him with a 23:57. Caleb Putnam, Carl Albert was in third. Callan kind of hitting his stride, really has a good kick going here. We'll see where he touches here at the 100. 48:49. Went a little fast, well, right on about what they were projecting his second split to be, so he's got about a second in the bank from where he was hoping to be. Does have good kick, good stroke rhythm, catching the breath every stroke or two.
Cody Cox from Newcastle was nipping at his heels, but Callan's now starting to pull away.
Yes, we'll see where they touch here. Pretty close to record pace. If he can come back in I don't know, he's probably got to go 25s. We'll see if he can come back in a 25, take that record from his brother. He has extended his lead to about a 5 or 6 body length. His brother swims for Michigan now, and I know they're working hard getting ready for conference and NCAAs. Wonder if Patrick's watching here as his brother comes down through here. Going to be close to record pace, probably going to miss it by just a little, but Jack does finish with a 1:42.65 for the win. Good win for Bishop Kelly. In second, right next to him, Carl Albert, 1:46.49. Only about half a second behind him, Sam Duda from Bishop Kelly in third. Cody Cox from Newcastle, 1:51.74 in fourth. Bishop Kelly did rack up some good points in that, having 3 swimmers in the finals.
You got 2 of them that finish in the top 3. So, as you mentioned, they picked up some quality points.
Good look at Jack there.
From that race. He won, but he looks like he's frustrated he didn't beat his brother's state record, didn't he?
I'll have to go back. I'll have to go back and do the math on what we thought the splits would be. I think that's probably pretty close to what he was projecting he would go.
42.65. Again, the state record was 1:40.81. So about a second, almost 2-second difference. He's still got time.
A lot of time. He's
just a junior.
Be coming back. We'll see him again later today in the 500. We'll see if he can chase that record.
200-yard medley relay. 7th place, Duncan.
Now they're doing the medals for the 200 medley relay awards. We'll turn it over to the PA.
Sixth place, Ulaga Talalita. Fifth place, Hera. Fourth place, Bishop Kelly. Third place, Metro Christian. Second place, Altus. First place with a time of 1:56.04, Heritage Hall.
All right, there you take a look at Heritage Hall, the champs in the 200-yard medley relay as they wrap it up. Grace Shepard, Dylan Beeson, Leah Liedl, and Phoebe Shepard helped lead them to the 200-yard medley relay championship. So congratulations to them.
Oh, that previous shot of the crowd showed how how tightly packed they are up there. There wasn't any spare room up there. Look at the crowd shot there.
Now for event 2, the boys 200-yard medley relays.
Now the announcement of the boys medley relay.
Seventh place, Duncan. Sixth place, Tulsa Memorial. Fifth place, Guyman. Fourth place, Fort Gibson. Third place, Carl Albert. Second place, Altus. First place with a time of 1:40.06, Bishop Kelly High School.
There's your championship crew from Bishop Kelly, River Kirkland, Paul Hunt, Walker Wilson, and Ian Wilson. Walker's a senior, Ian a freshman, and them celebrating the victory and holding up, we're #1. Flex those muscles. Congratulations to that crew from Bishop Kelly, your boys 200-yard medley relay. Coming up, the girls 200 IM, the individual medley. And the B final, Kaylee Brammer from Duncan in lane 1, Micaiah Joseph, sophomore from Carl Albert, lane 2, Erica Brock from MacArthur, Sadie Allen from Fort Gibson, Georgia Guerrera from Eisenhower, Kaylee Jones from Hera, Emily Charon from Carl Albert, and Bailey Black from Ulagan Talala.
Back from my officiating days when we got ready for a meet, had a officials briefing and went through the stroke briefing, told everything we were looking for. Already done that for our viewers, so I won't go over all of that. A little different order in the individual medley. Butterfly stroke is first, then the backstroke, then they transition to breaststroke, then transition from there over to freestyle. They come down here completing the first 50 in the butterfly. It looks like it's going to be lane 2. Micaiah Joseph from Carl Albert touching first fly, 33.63. Out in the middle of the pool, Sadie Allen, Fort Gibson in second, 33.69. Georgia Guerrera from Ike in 33.7 as they transition to the backstroke, make their way to the turn there. Still a real tight race between Sadie and Georgia in 4 and 5. Lane 3, Erica Brock within striking distance. Looks like Micaiah Joseph in second, maintaining contact with the leaders. May have a little, no, she has lagged a little bit back, but lane 3 has brought the race back a little bit as they transition. May see a few little different styles here in the touch and the turn. All those did seem to be about the same as they transition over here to breaststroke. Just about a half a second separated the top 3. Erica Brock, 1:15.26, 1:15.79 for Georgia, and 1:15.92 for Sadie. Sometimes you'll see the lead change, and breaststroke can be kind of the great equalizer, but doesn't really seem to have worked here. All 4 of those are still just within striking distance of each other. 4 and 5 out there. Sadie and Georgia still seem to be the class of the field, but don't count out Micaiah and Erica just yet.
Sadie Allen from Fort Gibson is now taking the lead by about a half a body length. In the final 50 yards of this one, it's the freestyle.
2:04.90 for Sadie, 2:06.23 for Georgia, and over here in lane 2, Micaiah Joseph in third with a 2:06.93. Legs are burning, lungs are burning as they get ready to transition off that final wall.
Micaiah Joseph is picking up some ground in lane 2.
Yes.
She's got a little more kick in her.
See who has the legs and the lungs left to get it done here. Looks like Sadie is going to have enough to hold them all off. Win's going to go in this B final to Sadie Allen from Fort Gibson with a 2:41.51. Holding on for second, Georgia Carrera from Lawton Ike, 2:44.38. Micaiah Joseph held on for third with a 2:45.36 from Carl Albert.
Sadie Allen from Fort Gibson, just a sophomore, wins that B final. Now it's time for the girls' 200-yard individual medley A final. Kylie Grimes, a senior from Hera, in lane 1. Lael Adele from Heritage Hall, a junior, lane 2. Haley Schapp from Fort Gibson, a sophomore, in lane 3. Hannah Newby, a senior from Bishop McGuinness, in lane 4. And she's got the state record in this event, which she set a year ago. Kara Carroll from Bridge Creek in lane 5. Alyssa Hargis from Altus, and Lindsay Heron also from Altus in lane 6 and 7. And then Molly Woodruff from Carl Albert in lane number 8. And Hannah Newby is your favorite in this race today. She set, well, the prelims, she's got 2:01.81. They didn't update the state record. She set the state record yesterday. Is that wrong?
She set the record yesterday with a 2:01.81. My guess is she'll be going after that again today. We'll also see her later on in the 100 breaststroke. But hopefully we've got a lot of young swimmers at home and in person watching. This just really be a good stroke clinic on how to swim these strokes efficiently and effectively.
Keep your eye on Hannah Newby, lane 4 from Bishop McGuinness. Set the state record in the prelims yesterday. Gonna try and break that today.
Obviously the class of the field here, she has 25-second qualifying advantage over the rest of the field, so she's going to go out early, set a lead. She's already got a body length at the 25. She'll just grow this lead throughout the race. We are, I think, say this about every year it seems like, but this is kind of one of those once a generation kind of swimmers that just kind of resetting record every time she swims. She does touch first in a 26.78. Closest competitor, Kara Carroll from Bridge Creek with a 30 flat. Then in third, Lael Edel from Heritage Hall over here near us in lane 2. Good underwater, had a couple of good kicks there from Hannah on the backstroke. Just Well, she just makes it look effortless as we watch her here. Know she's putting a lot of energy into it, but she's so smooth and effective on this breaststroke. Can't really see it from our perspective, but look at how far out there she is. She's about at the middle of the pool before her head breaks the surface. Just long and efficient on her stroke. Have a good long glide here at the turn. Touches. See a little bit of it there. There's that downward dolphin kick we've talked about. Look for those arms wide as point. Her head's up. Just really reaching, catching a lot of water as she comes down through here. As we head for the freestyle, she's already got about a pool length lead on the rest of the field. She'll turn here, start the freestyle with a 1:33.39. Gonna guess that 2:01's pretty serious jeopardy of being broken here again today. We'll look as Hannah makes the turn for home. The rest of the field touching. Having
close.
second, Kara Carroll with a 1:50.14, 1:52.05. Here comes Hannah for a finish. We'll see where she is in relation to that record from yesterday. Not quite do it. A little slower, 2:02.66. Still a good time for her. Great swim. Congratulations to Hannah. She brings home another state gold medal. Race for second here as they come back between Haley Schaap from Fort Gibson and Kara Carroll from Bridge Creek. Looks like over in 5 it is going to be Kara Carroll with a 2:26.22. Well, how the touch and how the scoreboard read are two different things. Haley Schaap in second with a 2:26.20. Kara Carroll in third, 200ths behind with a 2:26.22.
I'm with you. It looked like Kara Carroll touched first, didn't it?
Don't know if she didn't get a good
On
solid
the pad.
touch there. You know, you can think back to that Olympics where Michael Phelps just out-touched that guy. Just, you know, he didn't have a hard finish.
Yep.
Could have been the case here. It sure looked like 5 won the touch there.
Here's your boys 200-yard medley. MacArthur's Eric Wang in the B final in lane 1. Anthony Basaladia from Altus in lane 2. Ben Abdul Rahim in lane 3 from Carl Albert. DJ Brown from Altus in lane 4. Braylon Sullivan from Duncan in lane 5. Ethan Rattery from Fort Gibson in lane 6. Liam Neal from Ada in lane 7. And Brandon Whitney in lane 8 from Carl Albert.
We're going to have a little different finish here at this 50 for these guys than we've been used to seeing. It is
they're all pretty tight.
Some outside smoke over there from Liam Nell from Ada with the early lead at 59.65. Brandon Whitney from Carl Albert with a 29.96. Just real quick as these guys cycle through their backstroke, there are touch pads in the pool here at the finish. That's the primary timing device. So unless there was some kind of malfunction, that's the official time. If there was faulty connection, there are some differences that the officials will look at. There are backup buttons that the timers push, as well as backup stopwatches, but it's primary pad, secondary buttons, tertiary watches. We'll have to see if our results come through anything different than we saw. So they transition into the breaststroke. Did have a change of the lead. Anthony Balsadua from Altus with the lead, cycling into the back half of the race. Does look like over there in the middle of the pool that this breaststroke has kind of equalized the field a little bit. Does seem to have had a little bit of a change in the leadership. Don't want to overlook Altus here in 2. Altus stands to bring home some good points here. They do have 2 swimmers in this race. It is going to be DJ Brown from Altus touching first with a 1:51.74. In second, lane 5, Braylon Sullivan from Duncan with a 1:51.99. And Basildua in third from Altus in lane 2. Rounded out the top 3 as they turn for home. Real tight race still between Brown and Sullivan. These guys really have their head down, kicking hard, seeing who has the most left. It does look like it's going to be Brown for the win here in the B final. Yes, with a 2:25.05, but only 2300ths behind him was Sullivan with a 2:25.28, 2:27.20. Abdul Rahim snuck in for third from Carl Albert. really good race there. Saw some changes in position throughout the race. The early leaders weren't able to hold them off.
DJ Brown, the winner. That's about 10 yards. He pulled away, and right at the end, got the touch. The boys A final, David Hernandez, a freshman from Bishop McGuinness, will be in lane number 1. You see the swimmers marching toward the blocks. Colin Martin, a freshman from Fort Gibson, in lane 2. Thaddeus McLean from Bing High School, a senior, lane 3. Owen Flynn, the favorite in this one, also a freshman from Heritage Hall, in lane 4. Tyler Huang, a sophomore from Bishop Kelly, in lane 5. Seth David from Herod, lane 6. Canyon Bain, a freshman from Altus, lane 7, and Joe Rollins, a junior from Fort Gibson, in lane 8. 3 freshmen in this race.
Actually have 4 freshmen in here, Zig. That we've got one we're not really sure, we don't have a classification for, but kind of a youth movement here in the A final, the 200 IM.
You're right. I was looking at the 9s, and then there's an FR at the top.
They're trying to confuse us.
4th,
Some have
yes.
a number and some have an abbreviation.
And again, a clean start. We've had clean starts all day. Oh, I shouldn't say anything, right?
Don't say anything. We'll have to see what happens here. From where I sat, I may have seen something, but again, from where we sat, we have a little different advantage perspective than the referee and the starter do. Those starts, they are a dual confirmation. The starter sees something, they mark it on their sheet. They go to verify it with the referee. If they both have a circle marked around what they thought may have been a false start, then it is confirmed. We'll see the officials huddle up at the end of the race. After the first 50, Tyler Huang from Bishop Kelly with a 25:43. Owen Flynn right on his heel with a 26:04.
The state record in this event, 151.44, set last year by Patrick Callan of Bishop Kelly.
We're going to hear a lot about the Callans again this year, between the records they hold and the ones that are swimming today. Those are names we'll be calling all day. Tyler Huang maintains his lead only by about 2/10. Went out with a 56:25, 56:43 for Flynn. Thaddeus McLean from Bing in 3rd, about 6 seconds behind with a 1:02.09. See what the breaststroke does here to these guys, if it builds any separation or if they're able to maintain their relative position. Does look like Huang is extending his lead a little bit. It's going to have about a little over body lead, maybe 2 bodies at the turn as they turn for the final 50 freestyle. 1:30.76 for Owen. 1:33.98 for Tyler. We come down here, touching in 3rd. Thaddeus McLean from Bing holds on to his 3rd place spot for 1:42.81. And Tyler Huang just adding to his lead. Yeah. He's growing that lead as he comes here, cycling under the backstroke flags. He is going to touch first, really add to his lead a lot in that 51, 59, 40, 72. Second was Huang. I've probably been calling this wrong I think I had my 4 and 5 switched up. Is Owen Flynn from Heritage Hall with the win, 1:59.72. Huang, 2:04.20. Bringing home 3rd, Thaddeus McLean from Bing.
So the freshman in lane 4 from Heritage Hall, Owen Flynn, your champ. Tyler Huang of Bishop Kelly finishing 2nd, and Thaddeus McLean 3rd in your boys' 200-yard individual medley.
Now we'll do the awards.
Before we move on, they're going to do the awards for the 200 freestyle. Watch the replay of today's swim meet. 6A championship will be replayed Monday night at 7:30, while the 5A, one going on right now, Tuesday at 7:30, only on Your View Channel 3. That's replay of the OSSAA State Championship swim meets, the Ford game of the week.
Event 3, the girls 200-yard freestyle.
I'll turn it over to the PA for the
Fort Gibson.
medals.
7th place, Harrington, Bishop McGuinness. 6th, Shaw, Carl Albert. Fifth, Novotny Fort Gibson. Fourth, Firth Altus. Third, Swagarkasa MacArthur. Second, Canton Hera. First place from Metro Christian Academy with a time of 1:54.67, Isabel Packer.
And Isabel Packard really just blew the rest of the field away in that race.
The rest of the field wasn't even in the view there when she finished.
Hit the finish line, touched the wall. There you can see the big crowd that is here today from
Event
fans
4,
of
the
these
boys
schools
200
at
yard
5A.
freestyle.
I think I see one seat.
There is, right
There's
in
one
front.
seat.
Eighth
What is
place,
that?
Ford.
They can let somebody else in now. Sell one more ticket.
That person lost their front row seat though.
Seventh place, Hart Altus.
All right, here's the boys. 200-yard freestyle.
Sixth place, Hayes Fort Gibson. Fifth place, Kirkland Bishop Kelly. Fourth place, Cox Newcastle. Third place, Duda Bishop Kelly. Second place, Putnam Carl Albert. First place from Bishop Kelly with a time of 1:42.65, Jack Callan.
And Jack Callan, lane 4, wins it. 1:42.65. Coming up short of his brother Patrick's state record that was set back in 2016, but he's still got one more year to hit the pool. All right, we're going to move along. Girls 50-yard freestyle. This is dash, splash, and dash, as you say.
What I like to say.
Jenny Lampkin of Memorial, Maddie Souse of Carl Albert, Sousey, Zadie Lavalier from Carl Albert, Lainey Sims from Kelly, Hannah Covert from Oklahoma Christian, Alyssa Russo from Ulaga Talala, Savannah Ruby from Regent, and Phoebe Shepard from Heritage Hall.
And just as quick as you get them red, here they come getting ready for the finish. Looks like the race is right there in the middle of the pool as we would expect. Looks like lane 5. Hannah Covert may have a little bit of a lead. Does look like she's going to bring home the win. Yes, Hannah Covert from Oklahoma Christian, 26:57. Lainey Sims from Bishop Kelly, 26:85. Zadie LaValle, Carl Albert, 27:44.
And just that quick, they are in and out of the water. It does not take very long. The girls 50-yard freestyle A final. In lane 1, Sarah Scott from Altus. Madeline Harper, a junior out of Duncan in lane 2. Hallie Sheffield from Tuttle High School in lane 3. Sylvia Shaw, a senior from Carl Albert, lane 4. Laura Bivens, lane 5, a senior from Duncan. A freshman sits in lane 6, Dylan Beeson from Heritage Hall. Maddie Scott, a senior out of Carl Albert in lane 7, and another freshman, Mia Pendleton from Ulaga Talala in lane 8. This is your girls A final, 50-yard freestyle, state record 23:75, set by Chelsea Yee of Classen back in 2011. Saw, what, 3 or 4 state records broken this morning in the 6A. Have not seen one broken yet today. We came close.
Haven't yet, came close. I think we'll see. We've got a chance still at 2 or 3, I think, today. Later on in the evening. Good shot of the young ladies there, staying loose. A lot of, as I mentioned this morning on these 50 frees, a lot of fast twitch muscle up there. Good shot of the ladies cycle down through there. These 50 frees, they don't take long. Good shot of the turn there. They're touched almost in unison. So they come back through.
It's going to be
ready
close.
For the finish. Looks like lane 4 might have a little bit of a lead, but I don't want to overlook 7 out there. Do think, no, it's going to be in the middle. Haley Shepard from Tuttle takes the win, 25-42. Sylvia Shaw in 4 from Carl Albert, 25-44. Then out in lane 7, Maddie Scott from Carl Albert with a 25-65. Those top 3 just within about 0.2 of a second, Zig.
Hallie Sheffield, your champ in that race. Boys 50 freestyle, Blake Bowden from Bishop Kelly, lane 1. Tim Rogers from Memorial, lane 2. Thomas Mussman from Guyman, lane 3. Jack Truck, the junior, from McGinnis in lane 4. Michael Adair from Fort Gibson in lane 5. Lane 6 has Austin Charrier from Tulsa School of Arts and Science. Dakota LaChance from Hera in lane 7. And Malcolm Williams from Piedmont, lane 8.
Watching these guys really churn the water here. They all have their head down, really stroking hard. Great kicks going by these guys. Race right there in the middle of the pool. Looks like it's going to go to lane 4. Jack Turk from McGinnis with a 24-11. Lane 2, Tim Rogers. Tulsa Memorial with a 24-43. Right next to him, Thomas Mussman from Guyman with a 24-55 brings home 3rd in the boys B final of the 50 free.
Now on to the A final. Connor Landers from Fort Gibson, senior, will be in lane number 1. Ethan Smith, a junior out of Duncan High School, in lane 2. Ian Wilson, freshman from Bishop Kelly, in lane 3. Caleb Gregory from Bridge Creek sits in lane 4. He's the favorite in this race. Chase Hubbard from Altus, a senior, lane 5. Matt Hunt, a sophomore from Bishop Kelly, in lane 6. Jake Duncan, lane 7 from Altus. And Daniel Riley from Altus. They have 3 racers in this. Daniel Riley from Altus in lane 8.
Altus has 3. They're all seniors. Bishop Kelly has a couple in here, so they, you know, points are a premium here. We'll see how this shakes out. Looking back up through that B final, I don't see either of those schools. Yep, Bishop Kelly did have one in the B final. So looking at these guys, they are getting ready. A couple of big long steps up on the block. Starter giving the command.
Team points, I can update you. Kelly, through 6 events, has a 24-point lead over Fort Gibson on the boys' side. The girls' side, Altus, just a 12-point lead over the Fort Gibson girls.
See if Caleb Gregory can bring this win home. Does look like he has a good little bit of a lead here as he turns and burns. Caleb Gregory with the win, 21-38, 22-27 for Chase Hubbard. Right next to him from Altus, Ian Wilson from Bishop Kelly in 3rd with a 22-85. 23-12, Matt Hunt, Bishop Kelly brings home 4th in the men's 50-yard freestyle A final.
So Caleb Gregory from Bridge Creek, your champion of the boys 50-yard freestyle, 21-38. The state record was, or is, 20.78. Again, set a year ago by Patrick Callan of Bishop Kelly. And the Comets pick up some more points in that one, and they extend their lead over Fort Gibson. We've got another break in the action. The Class 5A OSSAA state championships.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month, the place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series and the brand with the most J.D. Power, IQS, and Appeal awards. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner. Now during Ford Truck Month, get $22.50 cash back on the 2019 Super Duty. Only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
For many kids, just showing up to school is a challenge. Staying through graduation is even harder. So at communities and schools, we do just what our name says. Our staff brings a community of resources to meet each student's needs right in their school, doing whatever it takes to keep kids focused. so they see what we see, a bright future. Join in at communitiesandschools.org.
My name is Dylan Stroup, and I am the general manager of iFly Indoor Skydiving in Oklahoma City. So iFly is a multifaceted company that uses wind tunnels to deliver the dream of flight to all of our customers, while also delivering the sport of body flight. And we also use our wind tunnels to help professional skydivers from all around the world train. We recently partnered with DreamWorks Universal Studios to bring our customers a video from the How to Train Your Dragon movie. The video gets customers fully immersed in the world of Burke from the movies, and also gets you guys up close and personal to a couple of the key characters from the movies. The How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality video is a highly exhilarating one that our instructors take customers through from start to finish. There are a lot of breathtaking descents, sharp turns and maneuvers through and around cliffs, and they make sure that you get up close and personal and even have to maneuver around some of the characters from the movie. The video is fun for all ages, no matter whether you're young, old, or a kid that's seen all the movies and is the biggest fan in the world. iFly is the only place that has the How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality experience.
For David Harris.
We're back at the Edmond Aquatic Center, and it's the boys 200 individual medley. They're handing out the medals.
Second hung from Bishop Kelly.
In that event.
First place from Heritage Hall with a time of 1:59.72.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody fall off the award stand before.
Well, they did that time. Owen Flynn, the freshman from Heritage Hall, was your champion of that event. Tyler Hong from Bishop Kelly coming in second, so congratulations to Owen Flynn. Tonight's swimming championships brought to you by iFly Oklahoma City. DreamWorks Animation has created a unique How to Train Your Dragon 3 virtual reality experience available only at iFly. It's a fully immersive, highly exhilarating experience, takes flyers inside the mythical Viking world of Burke. iFly instructors physically guide flyers through sharp turns and breathtaking descents. This is the time to check out iFly in Oklahoma City.
My name is Dylan Stroup, and I am the general manager of iFly Indoor Skydiving in Oklahoma City. So iFly is a multifaceted company that uses wind tunnels to deliver the dream of flight to all of our customers, while also delivering the sport of body flight. And we also use our wind tunnels to help professional skydivers from all around the world train. Our facility uses two 500 horsepower fans to deliver the dream of flight to our customers, and our instructors are a big piece of that. Our instructors take customers from the beginning of their experience to the end of their experience by helping them float in our facilities and keeping them safe and making sure they have fun throughout the entire experience. Along that process, they take you through training, they get you geared up, they put on a professional flight demonstration at the end of every single class, and they have a one-on-one interaction with you just to make sure that they know that you had a great time as a flyer. Our instructors go through a month-long training program before they're even allowed to take flyers. After that, there's a separate training program where our instructors have to go through before they're even allowed to take customers on a virtual reality experience. For the How to Train Your Dragon experience, we actually did a lot further a separate training because there are maneuvers and there are those breathtaking descents and sharp turns around cliffs and through ridges that we want our customers to be able to fully experience, as well as a multitude of training that our instructors have to go through on a day-to-day basis, regardless of skill set, just so we can make sure we deliver an awesome product to our clients. To become a better flyer, it just takes hours and hours and hours and hours of being in the wind, and our instructors have that. Oftentimes, the better flyer that you see, there's usually several thousands of hours that came before the finished product that you were able to see on YouTube in a world competition or in any one of our tunnels locally. What our customers come here for often varies. It's a wide array of things between customers that come here to have a good time, customers that come here just to develop their skills within the sport of body flight, and customers that just come here for a nice family outing, or customers that come in to try this out before they go jump out of an actual airplane. We recently partnered with DreamWorks Universal Studios to bring our customers a video from the How to Train Your Dragon movie. The video gets customers fully immersed in the world of Burke from the movies, and also gets you guys up close and personal to a couple of the key characters from the movies. iFly is the only place that has the How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality experience. The How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality video is a highly exhilarating one that our instructors take customers through from start to finish. There are a lot of breathtaking descents, sharp turns and maneuvers through and around cliffs, and they make sure that you get up close and personal and even have to maneuver around some of the characters from the movie. The video is fun for all ages, no matter whether you're young, old, or a kid that's seen all the movies and is the biggest fan in the world. So for me, Watching people go through this experience is the best part of what we do. It recaps for me why I do what I do, and it recaps for our instructors why they do what they do. If you want more information, you can call our facility at 405-300-4359. You are also welcome to email us at info.oklahomacity@iflyworld.com. And then lastly, you can go to our website at iflyworld.com. We look forward to seeing you, your friends, and your family in our tunnels soon.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month, the place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series and the brand with the most J.D. Power, IQS, and Appeal awards. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner. Get 0 for 72 months with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days plus $2,500 cash back on F-150. Only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
It's about cars, about why we love them, the roads we drive, and the places we go. Driven, from the classics to new tech and toys to more than a couple laps around the track. Driven tells the stories from the road with a few car buying tips and some advice to keep your car on the road and off the rack. Sundays at 5:30 on Your View. Driven, the drive, the adventure.
My name is Dylan Stroup, and I am the general manager of iFly Indoor Skydiving in Oklahoma City. So iFly is a multifaceted company that uses wind tunnels to deliver the dream of flight to all of our customers, while also delivering the sport of body flight. And we also use our wind tunnels to help professional skydivers from all around the world train. We recently partnered with DreamWorks Universal Studios to bring our customers a video from the How to Train Your Dragon movie. The video gets customers fully immersed in the world of Burke from the movies and also gets you guys up close and personal to a couple of the key characters from the movies. The How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality video is a highly exhilarating one that our instructors take customers through from start to finish. There are a lot of breathtaking descents, sharp turns and maneuvers through and around cliffs, and they make sure that you get up close and personal and even have to maneuver around some of the characters from the movie. The video is fun for all ages, no matter whether you're young, old, or a kid that's seen all the movies and is the biggest fan in the world. iFly is the only place that has the How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality experience.
Well, we're back at the Edmond Aquatic Center, the OSSAA Class 5A State Championships. It's our Ford game of the week. Appreciate you joining us today, and what a great event this has been. The 6A, great success this morning, had some state records broken. Of course, plenty of action coming your way. This is February, it's the middle of February, so that means state championships. You got wrestling going on. We got basketball playoffs started in some of the lower classifications. Within the next week or so, 6A and 5A basketball playoffs will be happening as well. How about Thursday, March 7th? Check out the 5A girls quarterfinal round of the state basketball tournament. We'll be live at the ORU Mabee Center. It's the Ford game of the week. We'll have 2 games in the afternoon starting at 2 and 2 games at night starting at 7. Be sure to watch the Ford game of the week coverage of the first round of the OSSAA state basketball tournament right here on Your View, Channel 3. All right. Now joining us from Amy Castle from the OSSAA. Amy, welcome. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Man, what a great event. Morning went very well, and now the 5A is just rolling along, isn't it?
It is. It is just rolling along. Some great swims this morning, and already today some great swims.
And you got to be pleased with the crowd. You look up, and there's not a seat to be had, is there?
No, and isn't it great that people support these kids so strongly? I have so much respect for what they do.
Amy, what about the fans that lined up 4 hours before the doors even opened in 28 degrees? What does that tell you about our sport and the association?
It just tells you how dedicated these kids are and the parents and fans that follow them. It is incredible to me that people are willing to do that.
And you got to like the fact you got 2 awesome facilities, not only the one here in Edmond, but next year you'll be back over in Jinx at their aquatic center. It's great to have 2 nice facilities on each side of the state, isn't it?
It is awesome to have that, but I'll tell you this, the way we're growing, we need a couple more. So anybody that's ready and willing, let's go.
All right, Amy, we appreciate your time, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Amy Castle from the OSSAA, one of Many different officials out here today from the OSSAA, including all the volunteers that work during the event as well. The 6A championship meet will be replayed Monday night, 7:30, right here on your view, Cox Channel 3, and then the 5A championship, the one you're currently watching, if you missed any of it, Tuesday night at 7:30, only on your view. And we are ready to roll along. We kind of touched on the standings a little bit. Girls, they've had 8 events, so through 6, the Altus girls, oh, there they are, right on cue. Altus girls were leading Fort Gibson by 12 points. And then Harrah's right there in the mix as well. They are just 15 points behind. Then you have Heritage Hall, Metro, Carl Albert, Bishop McGuinness, and Oologah. On the boys' team scores, Bishop Kelly has a pretty commanding lead over Fort Gibson, and they are the favorite to win this one. The Bishop Kelly boys lost by 2 points a year ago to Booker T. Washington, so they have their set sight on their first ever state championship as they lead Fort Gibson after 6 events by 24 points. Then Altus, Carl Albert, Duncan, Guyman, Memorial, and MacArthur round out the top 8 teams that are swimming here today in the 5A championship.
Sounds like everything's shaping up just about like we thought it would. You got Bishop Kelly, Fort Gibson, Altus top 3 there. Carl Albert not far behind there, and the boys, girls shaking out about like we thought it would. Good shot of some of the swimmers there.
Just as you predicted in the open. Well, you got your crystal ball out or what?
Well, you know, you can run through those events, see if they score out like they're supposed to, how it'll all shake out. But, you know, that's why we swim the races and see how it does go. Some excitement so far.
And there you see the SRO, the standing room only of the people upstairs. Nowhere to sit. They're grabbing a piece of building anywhere they can to see if they can check out what's going on.
You wouldn't dare leave your seat here. Good shot of some of the swimmers and all. Seeing their family and friends. It is just really a testimony to how popular the sport is, how it grows.
And we are ready for the next event, the girls' 100-yard butterfly. This is the B final. Bianca Hernandez from Guyman in lane 1. Sydney Hopgood from Carl Albert. Lane 2, Kaylee Chevalier from Harrah, lane 3. Riley Rash from Fort Gibson and Sadie Allen from Fort Gibson, lane 4 and 5. Haley Black in lane 6 from Oologah. Leah Black from Harrah, and Emily Ann Spears from Harrah in 7 and 8.
Girls off on the first 25 of this butterfly leg. Pretty uniform touch along the wall on the first turn. Race seems to be happening here in the middle of the pool. These 2 young ladies, Riley and Sadie, kind of stroke for stroke as they come down through here. It's going to see who has the longer glide and touch there. 35-4 for Riley from Fort Gibson. Well, both of those in 4 and 5 are from Fort Gibson. Riley Rash and Sadie Allen, 35-4, 35-95. Chevrolet from Harrah in 3rd with a 36-30. I'd say Riley and Sadie pretty familiar with each other, practicing every day, probably know pretty well how each other are going to race. Riley is stretching her lead out here as they come back towards the finish of this 100 butterfly B final. She has a little over body length lead, it looks like. Is going to be Riley Rash touching first. B final of the girls 100 butterfly, 1:15:30 for her. Sadie Allen 1:17:17. Bailey Black brought it back on the second 50 to bring home 3rd from Oologah Talala, 1:20:95. Kaylee Chevrolet from Harrah holds on for 4th, 1:22 flat.
So Riley Rash wins it from Fort Gibson. Fort Gibson's trying to make up some ground, and it's going to be a little bit tough for them. They do not have a swimmer in this A final, but Altus does. So depending on how Carly Stork of Altus finishes, they could pick up some more ground. Micaiah Joseph in lane 1 from Carl Albert, then Stork from Altus in lane 2. Maura Bivens from Duncan in lane 3. Ashley Leader, a freshman from Newcastle in lane 4. Sylvia Shaw from Carl Albert, lane 5 and lane 6. Lauren Stutner from Metro Christian. Georgia Guerrera, senior from Eisenhower in lane 7. And Nancy Wang, a freshman from Carl Albert, in lane 8, and Carl Albert has 3 swimmers in this ladies A final. 100-yard butterfly.
Yeah, Carl Albert had 1 in that B final too. They're looking to stack some points here in this A final on top of what they earned in the B. Referee's long whistle brings him up on the block. A final here in the women's 100 fly, off to a good start. Did seem to be a good fair start for all the competitors. Already seemed to be a little separation, with Ashley out qualifying the rest of the field by 1 second, with full second over second place. She's going to come in here, touch first at the 50. 27.92 for Ashley. Sylvia Shaw in second from Carl Albert with a 28.62, 28.69 for Maura Bivens from Duncan. Just real tight race still there after 50. Ashley is extending her lead a little bit. She surfaces here, starts stroking, grabbing a lot of water. Still just has about a half a body length over Sylvia Shaw from Carl Albert. But over there in lane 6, Lauren Studner trying to take second, but doesn't look like she's going to have enough there left in the tank. I take that back. Look at there. Did it. Just as I was saying that. Win does go to Ashley Leader from Newcastle with a 1 flat 28. Second to Studner with a 102.29. Shaw in third with a 102.36. Maura Bivens holds on for fourth with a 103.04 from Duncan.
And a big smile from Ashley Leader, the freshman from Newcastle. And the state record is 55.22 from Dewey Blows of Stillwater. Now the boys 100 yards, butterfly. They are in the water quick. The girls didn't even get out of the water again. They didn't give them time, did they?
We're moving this meet along. We're ready to award that hardware.
They don't want to be here till midnight either, do they?
I think you're right about that. Let's get home and celebrate a win, right? The men's cycle through here, coming back for the first 50. Looks like it's going to be Dakota Iwanit, 28.07. Connor Landers from Fort Gibson, 28.89. Blake Bowden from Bishop Kelly with a 28.96 in third. Still a really tight race down there at the 75. These guys turn, grab a couple of quick dolphin kicks off the wall, coming up, grabbing a quick breath, keeping their head down. Does look like they're in for Dakota Iwanik. He's going to hold on for the win. He's going to swim a time of 101.68. David Hernandez, Bishop McGinnis with a 102.96. Out there in lane 6, Blake Bowden from Bishop Kelly with a 103.41. Round out the top 3 in the men's B final of the 100-yard butterfly.
That's the A final for the boys 100-yard butterfly. Sam Ennis, a senior from Altus in lane 1. Tommy Hammond from Fort Gibson, a senior in lane 2. In lane 3, it's Walker Wilson, a senior from Bishop Kelly. Chase Hubbard in lane 4 is also a senior from Altus. John Ryan Cook, a senior from Carl Albert in lane 5. Paul Hunt is a junior from Bishop Kelly, and Jack Turk, also a junior at Kelly in lane 6 and 7. And Thomas Mussman, a freshman from Guyman in lane number 8. So a bunch of seniors, 5 seniors, 2 juniors, and a freshman in that.
In a field dominated by Bishop Kelly and Altus as well. Those 2 teams stacking up just like we've talked all night. Each of them hoping to improve positions here in the A final.
State record 50.64. Patrick Callan set that last year. I thought you said you could only do like 2 races. His name's in like 5 races already.
We can only do 2 each year. If you win it, if you set a record each year.
Oh, that's right. One of the records from 17, wasn't it?
All right.
I was just testing you, Max, making sure you were on your toes. And again, another clean start. Boys 100-yard butterfly.
These guys really make the water churn. coming halfway back on the second 25. Does look like Chase Hubbard from Altus going to have a really slight lead. Or I could be wrong. It could be Walker Wilson from Bishop Kelly with a 24-41 to Chase Hubbard's 24-81. Right behind him, John Ryan Cook from Carl Albert with a 25-21. These guys go down there, touch for the final time. Head down the home stretch, going to see which one of these guys wants it the most. Does look like Chase Hubbard has extended this lead, but have to keep in mind what happened at that final, or that touch there at the 50. Is he going to get his head down and get it done? Yes, he does. Chase Hubbard with a 53-16 for the win from Altus. Walker Wilson, Bishop Kelly for 53-49 in second. Over in lane 5, Carl Albert with a 54-41. John Ryan Cook brings home the bronze for Carl Albert.
Yeah, Chase Hubbard, nice race for him. But again, Bishop Kelly had 3 swimmers in that. They've got 19 swimmers in the finals, Max, and that's when I said if you had your crystal ball, you got to look at that, because if you got 19 swimmers, you know they're going to start compiling points no matter where they finish within that race.
That's exactly right. We kind of saw that this morning with Jinx. Just, you know, at some point, some of these teams just kind of outman everybody. How many people do they bring to the event?
And now we'll do the awards for event 7.
Time to do the awards for the girls.
The 50-yard freestyle.
Girls 50-yard freestyle.
Event 7, the girls 50-yard freestyle. 8th place, Pendleton, Ulaga. 7th place, Scott, Altus. 6th, Blevins, Duncan. 5th, Harper, Duncan. 4th, Beeson, Heritage Hall. 3rd, Scott from Carl Albert. 2nd, Shaw from Carl Albert. 1st place from Tuttle High School with a time of 25:42, Haley Sheffield.
And there you take a look at the sophomore from Tuttle, Haley Sheffield. Your winner in the girls 50-yard freestyle race. So congratulations to her. She's got her gold medal.
Now for
she can celebrate. She'll be back 2 more years. So she is just a sophomore. Now the boys 50-yard freestyle awards.
Landers, Fort Gibson. 7th, Riley, Altus. 6th, Smith, Duncan. 5th, Duncan from Altus. 4th, Hunt from Bishop Kelly. 3rd, Wilson from Bishop Kelly. 2nd place, Hubbard, Altus. 1st place from Bridge Creek with a time of 21:38, Caleb Gregory.
And Caleb Gregory from Bridge Creek, your champion in the boys 50-yard freestyle, as Max likes to call it, the splash and dash race. As they splash and they dash, and before you blink, it's over with. All right, time to move on to the next girls 100-yard freestyle. Sadie Sousey, the lane 1. Maddie Scott from Carl Albert, also lane 2. Anna Swierkosh from MacArthur, lane 3. Caitlin Nimisek from Carl Albert, a senior, in lane 4. Hannah Covert from Oklahoma Christian in lane 5. Phoebe Robinson of Metro, lane 6. Zadie LaValle, a junior from Carl Albert in lane 7, and Savannah Ruby from Regent Prep in lane 8.
Do have a no-show in lane 2. Maddie Scott from Carl Albert, not show for the event. Don't know if she's injured, have sickness, something happens sometimes this time of year with everything that's around there. At the first turn, women's 100 freestyle, 27.4, Caitlin Nemesek. 27.82 for Hannah Covert from Oklahoma Christian School, and third, Anna Schwerkos. Rounding out the top 3. These young ladies make the turn. Head back on the final 25 is Caitlin Nemesek. Going to hold on for the win. Take a look here at the clock real quick, see what she has. 57.49 for Caitlin Nemesek. Hannah Covert from OCS with a 58.42. Holding on for third with a 1:09. Anna Schwerkos. And out in lane 6, Phoebe Robinson, Metro Christian, top 4, 101.56.
Now the A final, the girls 100-yard freestyle. In lane 1 for Nulagatulala, Mia Pendleton, a freshman, also joined by a freshman, Dylan Beeson from Heritage Hall. We've called her name a couple of times tonight. Abby Mink in lane 3 from Bishop Kelly. Heritage Hall freshman Grace Shepard also in there, lane 4. Hallie Sheffield, a sophomore from Tuttle in lane 5. Leah Edel from Heritage Hall in lane 6. Sarah Scott in lane 7 from Altus, and Alexis Ramsey, a senior from Nulagatulala in lane 8. Girls 100-yard freestyle, state record, Chelsea Yee from Classen set back in 2010, 51.47. Prelims, Grace Shepard in lane 4 was the closest at 55.10.
Yeah, it's going to take a pretty good swim for Grace to come anywhere near Chelsea's record, but you know, that's why we swim them in the pool, not on paper. We'll see what these young ladies can do.
And Carl Albert has really jumped everybody in the rankings in girls. We will update that in a minute. They are on the move and piling points quickly.
Once again, it looked like a good clean start for these young ladies. See on your screen there, not a lot of separation, a little bit maybe on the outside lanes. Grace Shepard already separating herself just a little bit. She is going to lead at the 50. Good split for her with a 25.82. Abby Mink from Bishop Kelly with a 26.4. Hallie Sheffield from Tuttle with a 26.64, holding on for third. Grace seems to be extending her lead, has a little over a body length there at the 75. Has a good stroke cycle, good kick going. Over here in 3, though, Abby Mink's not going to give up without a fight. She seems to be closing up, but I don't think she's going to have enough pool left to get it done. It is Grace Shepard, 54.32 for the win from Heritage Hall. Abby Mink closed up quick with a 54.77 to take second. Hallie Sheffield from Tuttle takes home third place in the A final of the women's 100 freestyle.
Boys 100 B final, Jake Duncan, lane 1 from Altus. Fort Gibson's Larry Crooks in lane 2. Seth David from Hera in lane 3. Toby Ford in lane 4 from Carl Albert. Lane 5's Will Kobos from Bishop Kelly. Dalton Ross from Fort Gibson, lane 6. Dakota LaChance from Hera in lane 7. And Phoenix Hollenbeck from Oklahoma Christian in lane 8.
Coming off the first turn, these guys really getting with it. Good kick. The race seems to be kind of again there in the middle of the field. Looking out there, does look like maybe lane 6 is going to touch first. But I could be wrong again.
It was lane 4.
It was lane 4.
You were off.
I was way off. Have to check my glasses. 25.64 for Toby Ford in first. There at the 50. These guys make the turn. I'm not even going to try it anymore. We'll just let these guys swim it in the pool. We'll call it as they come down here. Man, it's really tightened up across there. Who's it going to be? I am not going to take a try at this. Win does go to Toby Ford in lane 4 with a 53.54, but only about 3/10 behind him. Will Kobos from Bishop Kelly with a 53.87. Lane 6, Dalton Ross rounds out the top three with a 54-17.
The boys A final, DeMarco De Lapez from Altus in lane 1. Ian Wilson, a freshman from Bishop Kelly in lane 2. Altus's Caleb Shive in lane 3. Caleb Gregory in Bridge Creek is lane 4. Cody Cox, lane 5, a senior out of Newcastle. Sam Duda, a sophomore from Kelly in lane 6. Matt Hunt, a sophomore from Kelly in lane 7. And Ethan Smith, a junior from lane 8, or is in lane 8 from Duncan High School. And those standings, Max, Carl Albert, they were in 6th when we got the first grouping of standings. The girls, through 10 events, which is about halfway done, they have leapfrogged everybody. They're already in 1st. They're 23 points ahead of Altus and about almost 45 points ahead of Fort Gibson. On the boys, Bishop Kelly starting to pull away. They are about 37 points ahead of Altus and way ahead of Fort Gibson. They're 60 points in front of them. So Bishop Kelly trying to win their first ever state championship, and so is Carl Albert. Their girls have never won a swimming title. The boys have 3, but the girls have not won any.
It's going to be fun to keep track of that as we go along here. We are here in the same 3 we've talked about all along, but there could still be some shuffles as we've saw this morning what can happen in relays.
Get those double points in a win, you can really make up some ground quickly.
Boys A final here as they get going. It does look like Caleb Gregory back from his win in the 50 free takes an early lead, taking good control, has about a body length as they touch at the 50, 22, 55. Good first split for that first 50. See how he can hold on the back half of this deal. Caleb Shive was in 2nd, just about 8/10 behind Caleb with a 23-31. Caleb at least maintaining his lead, probably has stretched out a little bit to a body and a half. Caleb Gregory is going to win this easily with a 47-14. Cody Cox sneaks back on the back 50 with a 49-22 to take 2nd by 9/100 over Caleb Shive from Altus.
The state record in this event, 44.32, set by Patrick Callan last year. It looked like Caleb Gregory is moving at a pretty good clip, Max. He was 3 seconds behind the state record.
You know, Patrick was a lot of fun to watch. He's up there at Michigan, just really having a great year as a freshman up there. Has one of the top times, some of the top times in the 200 and 500. We'll be looking forward to see what he can do at NCAAs. They talked to his dad earlier today. They've got family watching in Detroit. So hello, Detroit. And I think they maybe said some in Florida too. So we'll say hey to the family down there in Florida as well.
Event 9, the girls 100-yard butterfly. 8th place, Joseph Carl Albert. 7th, Guerrera Eisenhower. 6th, Wang Carl Albert. 5th, Stork Altus. 4th, Bevins Duncan. 3rd, Shaw Carl Albert. 2nd, Studner Metro Christian. 1st place from Newcastle High School with a time of 1:0028, Ashley Leader.
There's Ashley Leader, the freshman from Newcastle, the girls 100-yard butterfly. Here's the girls' points through 10 events, Max, and that's what I was talking about when we did the first update. Carl Albert was down in 6th place. They started picking up points the last 4 races.
They've started putting, we've talked about them. They've had 3 and 4 swimmers in the B and the A final. 23 points, though. That's not a huge lead. We're right at halfway through it. We have 22 events, so see how this continues to unfold throughout the rest of the day.
And now here's the boys' awards for the 100-yard butterfly.
5th place, Hammond, Fort Gibson. 4th place, Hunt, Bishop Kelly. 3rd place, Cook, Carl Albert. 2nd place, Wilson, Bishop Kelly. First place from Altus High School with a time of 53:16, Chase Hubbard.
Now here's your boys' standings through those 10 events. You can see what Bishop Kelly has done. 178, Altus 141. They're kind of nipping at their heels a little bit. Fort Gibson right there as well. So those three teams still competing for the top spot in 5A.
Bridge Creek 16, Eisenhower 19, Tuttle 20, Newcastle 25, MacArthur 35, Bishop Kelly 37, Bishop McGinnis 42, Oologah 58.
Coming up,
Metro Christian 69,
this is the long
Heritage Hall
event.
71, Duncan 72.
500-yard freestyle.
500 free is the distance event at the high school level. You know, at other levels there are, you know, the 1,000, 1,600, 1,500. So there are some longer events, but here at the high school level, the 500 is the distance event.
They are reading through all the point totals for the boys. In this girls 500 freestyle event, the state record is 5:05.29. In the prelims, most of these swimmers were right around the 6:50 mark, at least in the B final. In the A final, there was Isabel Packard at 5:25. She pretty much outdistanced everybody yesterday. So she will definitely be the favorite. But in this B final, first, Leah Black in lane 1 from Hera. Katie Sanchez from Altus in lane 2. Bianca Hernandez from Guyman in lane 3. Cameron Osborne, a sophomore from Oologah-Talala in lane 4. Chantel Ramsey from Fort Gibson, a freshman in lane 5. Lindsay Cox from Duncan in lane 6. Aubrey Braun in lane 7 from Carl Albert, and Heritage Hall's Julie Leeson. This is the B final, the 500-yard freestyle event for girls. 20
lengths of the pool will be the 500. Talk about a few other things as these young ladies progress through the event. We'll watch kind of this first 50, see where we are there, see how it might change throughout the course of the race as it unfolds. A little separation here with the quick qualifier being Cameron Osborne with a 6:50.55 all the way to the 8th place qualifier with a 7:13.35. It was Cameron touching first with a 33.03, but just right on her heels was Chantel Ramsey from Fort Gibson. Go down through there, you can see on the view that there are swimmers standing on the bulkhead down there. They have a counter that helps the swimmer keep track of where they are. It is the swimmer's responsibility. Sometimes in an event, the swimmer may not even use a counter, but that just helps the swimmer keep track of where they are, progress through the race. I know I'd probably forget about you see how I've done on some of these other things. I know I'd get
two
lost
laps
about,
in, you'd be like, wait, where am I? I'm done, right?
Are we done yet? But they can kind of help use that. You can see over there in lane 4 that swimmer is bobbing the lap board up and down a little bit. That kind of lets them know that, you know, keep going. May need to pick it up a little. You know, a lot of times the coaches and the swimmer have a goal time they're trying to hit. So that just kind of communicates to the swimmer where they are. Kind of see in the wide shot there some of the volunteers it takes to make a meet like this run. Probably could be close to 100 that are all involved in this. Just on the kind of the volunteer basis, not talking about any of the coaches or anything, but each lane I mentioned earlier does have 3 timers that are working the backup buttons on the timing system. Also have backup watches. We have 3 in each lane, so there's 24 of them. You see some of these shots, you see somebody in blue slack shorts or a skirt with a white shirt, that's probably an official. In that shot there, you can see I picked out 3 or 4 of them along there, so there's probably 10 or 12 around the perimeter of the pool. Swimming is unique in that, you know, because of the water, sometimes you get some glare. A lot of the calls, you know, if you're not in position, the benefit of the doubt goes to the swimmer. So over the course of the event, you may see an official raise their hand. Chief judge goes to them. Here's what they have to say. Where were they? Were they in position to make the call? Are they describing what they saw? Is it meet kind of the technical description of it? Then the CJ and the deck referee make the decision on if it's an accurate call. So there's probably 12 or 15 officials around. So, you know, right there you're up to 40. But it does take a lot of volunteers to put an event like this on. There's hospitality for the officials, you know, ticket takers, everything. So it does take a lot of people to put an event like this on, make it successful. Kind of watching the swimmers cycle down through there. They just hit the halfway point. They're headed to turn 11 down on the far end. It was Cameron Osborne with a 3:15.63 at the halfway point. Chantel Ramsey was in second. Bianca Hernandez from Guyman is in third as they come back to the 300.
I noticed you were talking about everybody with the signs and the numbers. In lane 3 from Guyman, they did theirs backwards.
Some of them count them up, some of them count them down.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I thought was interesting. They were the only ones to do that. Everybody else started from 3 and went up.
Right.
They started from 17, I guess, or 18, went down.
Count it down. Then when they get to the end, there'll be a double orange that you'll see that lets them know that is their last one. They'll be really bobbing that thing really hard for all of them, regardless of where they are on pace at that point.
This takes a lot of stamina in this race, 500 yards.
We talked about in the 50 free, a lot of fast twitch muscle. Here you have a lot of the slower twitch muscle, these distance swimmers.
When you think 500 yards, that's 5 football fields. You go, I could swim that far. That's not that far, but boy, it's sure.
That's a long
way to swim.
Have had a change in the lead. Chantel Ramsey from Fort Gibson has assumed the lead with a 4:39.73. 4:42, Cameron Osborne from Oologah holding on to second here. We'll see where they at. I think that said 15, so they'll be coming back for the 400 this time at the start end.
Bianca Hernandez from Guyman is cut into the lead a little bit as well. She is in lane 3.
You know, sometimes in a lot of these races, of course, in those shorter ones, kind of easy to focus on, you know, they're all on the same length of the pool. In this, you know, sometimes you can have those races within a race. We don't want to lose sight of some of those races that are going on out here. Ramsey and Osborne hold on to first and second. Hernandez still in third. Over in 7, Braun. 5:37.44 for her. Chantel Ramsey and Cameron Osborne, as they come here, you'll start hearing the bell. This is the bell lap. Timers should start ringing the bell as they pass under the backstroke flags, which is in fact the case in this race. Their head's underwater so much of that time. They ring it from 5 yards out all the way to the wall. They make the turn, they keep ringing it until they pass back under the backstroke flags, just to be sure they've heard that, they know where they are. You look down there for Chantel, her teammate really pumping that board, as is Cameron's, letting them know they can see that double red target, know that this is the final 25 for them. Chantel Ramsey bringing it home here under the backstroke flag, 5 yards to go. She's gonna win the women's 500 freestyle B final with a 6:44.49. Holding on for second, Cameron Osborne from Oologah Talala with a 6:51.08. Bianca Hernandez had several good final lengths, bringing home third with a 6:55.09. Over there in 7, Aubrey Braun had a good swim and really improved her seeding from yesterday, 7:03.86. The rest of the field cycles through, finishes up their race.
Chantel Ramsey from Fort Gibson, the freshman, your champion of the B final in the girls 500-yard freestyle. Now the A final, again, the state record 5:05.29. Jessie Hildebrand from Newcastle set it in 2014. In lane 1, you have Jessica Massey from Altus. Rosie Glover in lane 2, a senior from Fort Gibson. Danielle Mamoli from Hera in lane 3. Isabel Packard, the favorite in this one, and should win it. Closest competitor in the prelims was 27 seconds away, and that was Kylie Almeyer from Altus, who is in lane 5. Randea Bryant from Hera in lane 6. Emily Sharon from Carl Albert in lane 7. And Mackenzie Nettleton from Altus in lane 8.
Going to have a little bit of a delay here, Zig. Had one of these earlier this morning. Do have an injured swimmer that's going to be tending to. Lifeguards coming over. Had an instance this morning. Looks like it may be similar. May just kind of be having some cramping or something, holding her arms, holding her shoulders. OSSAA does do a great job of having people on site. In addition to the facilities lifeguards, they do have athletic trainers, some sports therapists, people like that on site to help with situations like this.
All right, check out the latest episode of Driven Sunday evening, 5:30. This week, Tom Gregory enrolls in the Supercar Academy. And Motor Trend Television's Rick DeBrawl takes you behind the scenes of the Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale Collector Car Auction. It's on Your View Extra Channel 93, Sunday at 5:30. It's hotter than your brother-in-law's crawfish recipe. That's pretty hot. So tune into that. iFly OKC. Check them out. How to train your Dragon 3. Give them a call, 405-300-4359. It's a virtual reality experience you will never forget. That is iFly OKC. And a clean start to the girls' 500 freestyle.
Well, it didn't take long for Isabel Packard to take off to a lead. She's got about a half a body length at the 25.
And a quick check of your lane assignments in this one, and Packard is in lane number 4. Massey in 1, Glover 2, Mamoli 3, then Packard 4. Almeyer in lane 5 will give her the best race of this field. Bryant, Sharon, and Nettleton round out the field in this one, and Jessie Hildebrand set the state record in 14 at 5:05.29.
Neat to see Jessie Hildebrand still holding on to that record. Jessie went on, swam for the Purple Aces of Evansville. Swam in the Missouri Valley Conference, had a real successful 4 years. Seems like I knew at one time what she's doing now, but I have forgotten. Seems like she's back in the state, but the way this session's been going, I'm probably wrong.
Hey, at some point you have to be right. It's like flipping a coin. It doesn't come up heads every time.
You take it, you miss 100% of the shots you never take, right?
That's right,
okay.
Exactly.
I'm going to go with the Gretzky method.
Exactly.
Isabel Packard coming through here at the 150 with a 128.95. 133.75 for Kylie Allemeyer from Altus. Already distancing themselves from the field. Third place, 133.75. I'm sorry, 147.45. Danielle Memoli from Hera. Have some good races over there in 6 and 7. Randy Bryant, Emily Sharon from Hera and Carl Albert respectively seem to be going stroke for stroke over there. Kind of back here a little closer to us. Mamoli, Glover, and Massey don't have that much separation between themselves. We look here at
Packard's threatening to lap some of the field.
at this rate, you know, the distance they had there, she's probably not going to lap the entire field, but she could come close to it. She's already closing in on some of them.
And she continues to dominate.
Already past the halfway point, be coming back for 300 touch at this point. We'll see where she is in relation to the field. Looks like she's 1, 2, 3, lap 5 or 6 of the field already. See how the rest of the field stacks up. She does at the 300 have a 3:04.68. Allemeyer is going to continue to hold on to her position in second with a 3:18.74. Sure get some separation in these fields, Zig. Kind of losing track of who's where now. What we know for sure is that Isabel's in the lead here as she comes to touch at the 3:50. Allemeyer in second. Try to look down through here on the reader board as it comes along. I think Mamoli's in third in lane 3. Yes,
she is.
She touched there. She'd be at the 250. I'm sorry, that would have been her 300. Isabel was at the 350. Isabel coming back here for the 400, 100 to go for her. 4 is Randy Bryant, 5 Rosie Glover, 6 Emily Sharon, 7 Jessica Massey, and 8 Nettleton from Altus. The 400, Isabel with a 4:09.42.
Very impressive what she's doing out there, isn't it?
She really has a good stroke rate going. Just looks smooth and comfortable. It's fun to watch a young lady like that has such good form and all. Has a little bit of a kick going. Breathing every stroke or every other stroke. Here she comes to take the bell lap at the 4:50. 4:42.18. She's not going to lap the whole field, but she kind of will be on the same 25 of lapping even second place. Allemeyer over there in 5 just to her outside. She looks at the red double target, makes a turn, puts a little more kick into it, wants to finish strong. Her entry time of a 5:25.48. She is going to beat that by quite a bit. Going to miss the record by a little bit, but winner of the women's A final in the 500 free is Isabel Packard with a 5:13.94. Watch here to see Kylie Allemeyer on her final 25 as she makes the turn for home. Likewise, has a good kick going, wants to finish strong, going to bring home some good second place points for Altus in their hunt for the women's title.
Finished 27 seconds behind Isabel Packard. Nothing to be ashamed of now because of the type of swimmer she is.
First and second, even Kylie lapped the rest of the field. The rest of the field, as viewers can probably tell, coming through, hearing the bell, making their final 50 swims. I'm sure it's a lot of relief to look down there at your final turn, see that double red target. Know you've just got 25 to go. It's exciting to hear how loud the crowd is, really supporting these swimmers, cheering them on. Really good race for third here. We're going to see who out-touches here. Danielle Mamoli from Hera comes in third with a 6:25.17, only 0.08 of a second ahead of Randy Bryant from Hera with a 6:25.25. Those two young ladies work out together every day. Not a surprise they finish stroke for stroke. Emily Charon from Carl Albert finishes in 6th. Jessica Massey Altus in 7th. And final finisher Mackenzie Nettleton from Altus with a 6:53.18.
So Isabel Packard from Metro Christian, your winner in the girls 500-yard freestyle. Boys 500-yard freestyle. They are already on the blocks. The girls are still in the water trying to catch their breath. They want to keep this moving along. Here is a look. We'll let them get started, and then we'll take a look at the lane assignments for this boys 500-yard freestyle. Quickly underway as we get into the first turn, the boys 500-yard freestyle lane assignments include from Altus in lane 1, Trey Clendenin. Vance Raymer from Carl Albert in lane 2. Daniel Watson, Fort Gibson, lane 3. Clifford Helgeson from Memorial, lane 4. Scott Strickland from MacArthur in lane 5. Luke Finch in lane 6. From Altus, from Eisenhower, Luke Naberhaus in lane 7, and Patrick Holfeld in lane 8 from Hera.
Helgeson had the lead there at the end of that first 50 with a 29.08. Let these guys get another 50 completed here, do a little better job of reading off where they are in the standings here. It is going to be Helgeson from Memorial, Tulsa Memorial, with the lead at the 100. 103.02 for Clifford. Daniel Watts from Fort Gibson second with a 105.11. Vance Raymer, Carl Albert third with a 106.71. Good look down there as they cycle into their 125 turn. Teammates running the lap counters. Looks like everybody's zigged. To your point earlier, looks like all of them are counting them up in their count. Helgeson at the 150 with a 139.02. Clifford, Daniel Watts and Vance Reimer maintain their relative position in second, third. Scott Strickland in fourth. Field hadn't really gotten all that spread out yet. Coming back for the 200. Kind of do have that little typical V going. See what these guys have as they cycle here to the 200.
This is the B final, the boys 500-yard freestyle.
Helgeson 2:15.28. Watts 2:20.92. Extended his lead a little bit over Raymer with a 2:22.24. Looks like Scott Strickland from Lawton Mack closed up a little bit on Raymer on that 25. Guys are on their way back, coming to the halfway point. Helgeson is extending his lead. I'm going to call that about 6 body lengths probably. 2:51.85. $2:58.67 for Watts. 3:01.54 for Raymer, and in fact, Scott Strickland from Mack is closing up the distance on Raymer here down in lane 2, closest to us. Have to keep an eye on those guys as the race progresses, see how they do now that we're on the back half of this race. Helgeson seems to have gotten into a good rhythm, has a good stroke rate going, a little bit of a kick every stroke or two, kind of trying to maintain his position. Have had a change. Strickland did move into third on that 50, just ahead of Raymer. Not far behind is Luke Finch from Altus in fifth after that turn with a 3:43.91. Touching here at the 350 continue to be Clifford Helgeson from Tulsa Memorial. Watts, Strickland, Raymer, and Finch continue in third through fifth. $100 to go this time by. Haven't been watching the overall distance time difference that Helgeson has there on Watts. Take a look here, see what he does on this final 100. It is still Watts in second, Strickland in third. Strickland does seem to be closing up a little bit on Watts. See what happens on this final. Really, as these two guys touch with just 75 to go, see what happens on that race for second and third.
Helgeson, a freshman out of Tulsa Memorial, and Strickland, a freshman from MacArthur.
Helgeson coming under the backstroke flags, hearing that bell, knowing he's got 50 yards to go. Watts does have a slim lead over Strickland. Going to have to see which one of these guys can put their head down and get their legs into it. That's not that much of a distance that could be made up here in this final 25. Does look like Watts breathing to the left and Strickland to his right, kind of sneaking a peek at each other, seeing where they are in relation to each other. Watts still does have just a slight lead. See what happened on this last 25. It is Clifford Helgeson bringing home the win in this B final with a 5:53.46. Which one of these young men wants it work most? Too close to call for me. It's going to be Watts just barely holding on by 2/10 with a 6:06.71 to Strickland's 6:06.91. Coming home in fourth, Finch from Altus with a 6:15.55, just a 1/10 of a second ahead of Raymer from Carl Albert with a 6:15.65. Great swim for these young men. Some really good races throughout the field there.
Clifford Helgeson, the freshman out of Tulsa Memorial, your winner, 5:53.46. I was watching his reaction after he looked up at the board to see his time. I think he was a little disappointed because it was 3 seconds slower than he swam in the prelims, but that's to be expected, Max. I mean, you run the race yesterday and you got to turn around less than 24 hours later and do it again.
Do it again today. He's probably had another event or two before this, so they could really be wearing on him.
Athletes march in. It's time for the boys' 500-yard freestyle. As we take a look at them, it's always a great time for these athletes. Haven't seen a lot of the interesting gear that we've seen in years past.
I've thought that same thing a couple of times today.
Different outfits. And
we saw the rubber duck earlier today.
Yes.
We saw the missile. But other than that, we haven't seen
torpedo.
A lot of,
yeah,
the
Booker
torpedo,
T had
right.
the torpedo.
We haven't seen a lot of the hats and the other apparel that they're prone to wear.
Here are your lane assignments. And if you don't get to them all before they start, we'll go back through them as the race goes on. But Kyle Sutherland, a junior out of Plainview, is in lane 1. Christian Hayes from Fort Gibson in lane 2. Ben Newby, a sophomore out of Bishop McGinnis in lane 3, and then Jack Callan, the favorite in this by far, in lane 4, the junior out of Bishop Kelly, will run through the last 4 assignments as soon as they hit that first turn. The state record in this, in 5A, is Patrick Callan, 4:38.23, set back in 2015. There's his name again, man. That's about the 8th time I've read his name.
15, 16, 17, 2 a year.
If we can get those the rest of those lane assignments out. In lane 5, Canyon Hart from Altus. Joe Rollins in lane 6 from Fort Gibson. John Purdue, lane 7 from Altus. And Tony Owens from Mount St. Mary's in lane 8.
I think we're going to see
Jack
out here has already asserted himself in this as expected. He's got I really probably expect him to lap the entire field in this.
So he'll probably do what Isabel Packard did in the girls.
I think he's going to run away with it. Going to be interesting talking to his coaches earlier today. Has some kind of targets in mind. He's hit the first one and now he's hit the second one, so we'll just have to kind of keep track of this. He's got a couple of seconds in the bank towards that record. Just kind of keep track of him as we go along here. Don't want to neglect the rest of the field. Canyon Hart from Altus in second. Down here in lane 2, Christian Hayes in third with a 58.86.
Max is doing some quick math over there to figure out if Jack Callan has a chance to beat Patrick Callan's state record. In the prelims, he swam a 4:56.95. He's going to have to come off that by 22 seconds, Max, to beat the record.
I think he can do that. You know, a lot of times these guys that swim the distances consistently, they get a feel. I may be the only one that calls it that, but they're just, you know, kind of swimming a comeback swim. You know, how to get out, have a nice swim fast enough to make the A final, then come in today and make the race there on that split.
Really kick it into high gear. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, right? You know, just because as you mentioned earlier, you got to race it twice in 2 days. Conserve that energy. Come back today. If you're going to make a run at a record, save some in the tank. So far, he's right on his targets. This will be the halfway point here for Jack. He's going to touch in a 2:16.82. Be a little bit ahead of record pace. Split there was a little slower than maybe he was targeting at that, but he does have a good stroke rate. You know, hope, you know, young swimmers that are here, young swimmers that are watching the stream online, you know, kind of taking a look at this. Some of these really state class, national caliber swimmers as well. Kind of fun to watch their stroke technique, how their turnover rate, how they kick. Really a lot can be learned. You know, it's almost like a stroke clinic sometimes for some of these. Jack making the turn. This will be for the 350. Is my math any good on that, Zig? Take a look here. Yeah, that'll be right. 350 to the 3:13.7. Still about a second ahead. State record pace. Swimming some mid and low 28-second splits. Keeps him kind of right on that. It's got still, like I say, a second in the bank. Here he's lapping the field, coming up on the second place finisher or second place swimmer over in 6. He's going to touch with 100 to go in a 3:42.8. Puts him a little outside of state record pace. 100 to go. He does seem to be getting into it a little more, getting a little encouragement from his teammate there on the counterboard. Really getting with it now. Look at his kick there. As you can see, he's really generating some white water behind him, coming in for the bell lap. Win a 29.04 on that 50. He's at a 4:11.84.
He's off the pace
puts
just
him
a little
off
bit.
A little bit, but you know, depends on if he can maybe negative split this thing. Does seem to have a good stroke rate going as he comes off that final turn. Hope the crowd can get behind him. Probably not aware here on the live group that's
he's
here.
He's got to beat 4:38.23.
Going to be really close. Don't think he's going to quite get it. 1:39.56 for a win. Just missed it by a little. He had some great splits throughout there. Really great swim. Going to probably be a little disappointed with that, but a great swim from Jack. Happy for him. He brings home another state championship. Looking out through here, the race for second. Hart and Rollins just less than a half a second apart over in 5 and 6. See which one of these guys wants to bring home the silver medal in the state championships here in the A final. Look at these guys go, Zig. They're just going stroke for stroke. Taking a quick breath there. They come under the backstroke flags. I'm not going to call it. Going to be lane 5, Canyon Hart from Altus bringing home silver, 5:21.46, but only 11 hundredths behind him. Joe Rollins from Fort Gibson with a 5:21.57. Only 4 seconds behind him, Christian Hayes from Fort Gibson with a 5:25.46. Great swim from Jack Hallam. Really happy for him. Again, like I say, he's probably a little disappointed, but boy, scored some big points for Bishop Kelly there.
State record 6A, Max, is 4:30.30 by Eastman Holloway of Union, set back in 2012. Alex Yankunis from Jinx won it today. His prelim time was 4:47. So, you know,
right.
you compare 5A and 6A, and you say, hey, Jack Callan could swim against the best in 6A.
Yes, he can.
Like he's doing it, tearing up the field in 5A. Headed your way is the awards for the 100-meter freestyle, 100-yard freestyle. So, you can explain this. Why are some pools meters and some pools yards?
Well, short course typically is competed in yards. There are some meter pools. There are some qualifying times and so to speak that you have to hit. But typically it's long course that is measured in meters.
And I guess because you watch a lot of swimming international events.
Olympics is
theirs are always
contested-
meters.
Olympics are contested long course meters.
Yeah.
This pool can be converted to a meter pool. This one and Jinx.
Fourth, Edel Heritage Hall. Third, Sheffield Tuttle. Second, Mate Bishop Kelly. First place from Heritage Hall with a time of 54:32, Grace Shepard.
Standings, please.
And there you see Grace Shepard from Heritage Hall, the freshman. Out distancing the competition, and she has the gold medal, the smile on her face.
Big smile from Grace.
Big time in the pool, and she's still beaming up on the podium. Congratulations to her as a big win as a freshman, so you get a chance to watch her the next 3 years as well.
As we watch that 500 freestyle where the counters were, that's a bulkhead. That's what they call a bulkhead, and that is movable. So they can move those to the far end to convert this to a 50-meter pool. How they contest the long course meets.
Seventh place, Hunt Bishop Kelly. Sixth, De La Paz Altus. Fifth, Wilson Bishop Kelly. Fourth, Duda Bishop Kelly. Third, Shive Altus. Second, Cox Newcastle. First place from Bridge Creek with a time of 47:14, Caleb Gregory.
In the boys 100-yard freestyle, and there you see him. A couple of lengths ahead of the rest of the field to claim that. Tell you, we got a competition brewing through 14 events, which was the last event we just had, the 500-yard freestyle. We have a flat-out tie in the girls between Carl Albert and Altus, and we're getting those numbers input in the system. As soon as we have them up, we'll bring it to you. And in the boys, it's a 37-point difference between Bishop Kelly and Altus, and the Bishop Kelly boys on top. Here's the girls 200 freestyle, Mount St. Mary, MacArthur, Bethany, Piedmont, Heritage Hall, Guyman, and Harding in your girls B final. Freestyle. And they are in the water and on the move.
The aforementioned splash and dash, we're going to call this the splash and dash times 4.
There you go. Square.
200-yard freestyle relay. Each swimmer swim a 50. Apologies to families listening online and viewing online. We don't get a chance to read very many of the names on this because it happens so fast. Heritage Hall out there in lane 5 going to take the early lead in the race, 28:57. Results, time's a little slow coming in. Guyman in second with a 31:52, 31:8 for Piedmont. This B final, there can be some give and take as we go along. We set pretty close to the start in here, Zig. We just kind of had a little bit of a tidal wave, some of those exchanges. Some of the people up here on the desk got a little wet.
Max looks like he just got out of the pool.
Did. You don't want to see me swim. That is ugly. At the halfway point, we have Piedmont assumes the lead with a 1 flat 38, but only about 3/10 behind them is Heritage Hall with a 1 flat 61. 104 flat with is Bethany in third position. Heritage Hall seems to be stretching it out a little bit with their 4th place swimmer. Their 3rd leg swimmer as they come to hand off to the anchor leg swimmer for Piedmont. That's going to be Ashley Malinsky. Their lead's a 129.67 to a 132.24. Down here in lane 1, nearest us, Mount St. Mary. I'm sorry, we've kind of gotten out of a little position. I think they're actually trailing the field. Going to be 135.36 Bethany in third. Heritage Hall makes the turn. Heritage Hall going to win. Might not have thought so earlier, but wins easily. Been reading my sheet wrong. That's Piedmont with one missing. I've gotten off on my count. Piedmont wins with a 159.76. Heritage Hall in second with a 204.33. 205.94 in third is Bethany.
So Piedmont, Jaden New, Taylor Rycroft, Sydney Hardwick, and Ashley Malinsky, your champs in the B final, the girls 200-yard freestyle relay.
Not going to call these events this result official. Seems to be a little activity from the officials. I'm familiar with the disqualification slip. I see one out and being written on. We'll get an update on that as soon as we can.
All right, the girls A final. 200-yard freestyle relay. Bishop Kelly in lane number 1. Bishop McGinnis, lane number 2. Altus in lane 3. Carl Albert in lane 4. So watch out there. Altus and Carl Albert, they are tied going into this event in the overall standings. So watch lane 3 and 4. Ulaga Talala in lane 5. Duncan in lane 6. Metro lane 7. And the Fort Gibson Lady Tigers in lane number 8.
Did have a disqualification in that earlier event. Mount St. Mary had a swimmer with an early takeoff.
So this event right here will definitely go a long way in maybe potentially deciding who's going to win girls 5A, because the two teams that are tied right now, Carl Albert and Altus, are going to duel it out. Altus in lane 3, Carl Albert in lane 4. So keep your eye on how those two teams finish in this event.
These girls are taking it seriously. They came up and they're really getting with it. This first leg swimmers. Maddie Scott for Carl Albert, Alexis Ramsey for Ulaga, and Carly Stort for Altus. They're just really getting with it. We approach the first exchange. Going to be Bishop Kelly down here in the lane nearest us with a 25.69. Middle of the pool, Carl Albert with a 25.86. Over on the far side, we got the whole pool covered, Zig. 26.33 for Metro Christian in third there at the first exchange. Looks like it might be changing up a little bit again. Does look like Bishop Kelly's going to relinquish the lead. Looks like it's going to go to lane 6. Over there, Duncan in first at the halfway point with a 52.33. Another big splash coming in on the scoring stand. 53.03, Carl Albert.
Yeah, Carl Albert's taking the lead after trailing
here just
by about
past
2
halfway.
seconds.
Yeah, they've got a big lead here going in, or coming back to the anchor leg swimmer.
Sylvia Shaw really picked up the pace for Carl Albert.
Carl Albert with a dominating lead now, 118.33, 122.08 with Ulaga, and then in third, Duncan. Bishop Kelly in fourth as they turn, make the final run for home.
So Carl Albert's going to win this one.
Carl Albert going away 144.30. Fun race to watch as the lead exchanged several times. 148.32 for Ulaga. Metro Christian a 149.73. Down here close to us, Zig in lane 1, Bishop Kelly in 4. And finishes in fourth. Altus holds on for a fifth in a 151.22.
So Carl Albert and Altus were tied, and now Carl Albert, if you can add up the points that quick. So Carl Albert gets what, 40 points for first. So they're now at 204. And then Altus finished 5th. 28 and 64 is 92.
192, so 12-point swing.
Yep.
No. Right, yeah, 12 points.
12 points. So after that race, Carl Albert now has a 12-point lead on Altus with only a handful of events left. There's 3 events left. They have one more chance.
And one of those
is a relay.
One of those is relay, so we have more double-point events. Here we go with the boys' B final in the 200 free relay.
And they're in the pool. Chickasha in lane 1, Hera, Ulaga, Tulsa Memorial, Piedmont, Mount St. Mary, and Bethany. Only 7 teams.
Only 7 here
in this race. The event 16, the 200 free style relay.
Tulsa Memorial setting out here with their first swimmer, really wanting to make a statement. The 24-34 first leg, 26-79 for Piedmont. Little outside smoke over in 7, since that's the last one over there, is a 27-42. Fun to see my friends from Chickasha. Lived in Chickasha for 10 or 12 years where my son swam high school. Good to see a good little group from Chickasha here representing the Fighting Chicks. Tulsa Memorial holds on to their lead at the halfway point with a 52-83. Piedmont with a 54-72. Ulaga has crept into 3rd with a 57-59 for 3rd place here in the B final of the men's 200 free relay. Memorial continues their lead. Anchor leg swimmers in the pool. Makes that final turn for home. Yeah, has a good little lead. Probably more than going to be able to overcome. Although over there in 5, Piedmont sure giving it a go. Tulsa Memorial holds on to win the B final with a 142.94. Piedmont second with a 144.62. Ulaga Talala 151.43. Hera 4th with a 153.85. Rounding out the top 5, Mount St. Mary with a 154.09.
And Tulsa Memorial's Tim Rogers, Nicholas Sharetti, Elijah Mahmoud, and Preston Jensen. Winning team in the boys' B final. Congratulations to that group. Let's see if Altus can gain some ground on Bishop Kelly. In this event, the boys 200 freestyle relay.
Bishop Kelly's top qualifier. Altus is 4th qualifier, so we have to see how that affects things as they actually get in and swim this race.
See the athletes marching in to the sound of the music.
Gotta love a little Guns N' Roses. Get these boys amped up.
A couple of masks that look like Star Wars. The athletes get high fives as they head to the blocks. Lane 1, Bishop McGinnis. And lane number 2 is Duncan. Carl Albert in lane 3 and Bishop Kelly in lane 4. They are definitely the favorites. Ford Gibson in lane 5, Altus lane 6, Guyman in lane 7, and MacArthur in lane 8. Bishop Kelly already leading Altus by 37 points heading into this. They can really extend their lead by winning this. 200-yard flash or splash and dash.
Splash and dash.
Squared.
And something to keep an eye on here is while Bishop Kelly's the class of the field here, expect them to win really. They've got a Callan on their team, so but those next 3 qualifiers were all within just about 3/10 of each other. So it's really going to come down to who performs the best, who can handle the pressure the best. Carl Albert touches first with a 22.89. Altus in second with a 23.24. Bishop Kelly with a 23.25. Could see the lead change a time or two in this one, as tight as that second batch's bunch. Does look like
Kelly has taken the lead.
Kelly has taken the lead by almost a body length here at the halfway point.
Matt Hunt
46.02 to a 47.63. Carl Albert. Fort Gibson third. Altus fourth.
Matt Hunt picked up the pace for Kelly and gave him the lead after that second 50 yards.
Sam Duda holding on to that lead. Looks like he may be stretching a little bit. Going to call it a body and a half, maybe 2 bodies. As Jack Callan takes the pool. He really has a great stroke rate going, good kick going. It's going to be who wants these points the most in the battle for second. Here comes Callan on the home stretch. Going to be close on whether or not these guys can break the record. Going to just miss that. 131.02.
Kelly, another
Bishop
win.
Kelly. Carl Albert in second. Altus improves on their seed spot by 1 position to come back in third with a 134.97. So Bishop Kelly going to get the 40. Altus going to get the third. Going to be a 45-point lead for
Bishop
my math
Kelly.
right there, Zig.
Looks like it. Yes. We're going to take a break. Bishop Kelly improves on their lead, and the 5A boys will continue with the Ford Game of the Week.
If you want a car from a company that's been building them for 115 years, get a Ford. If you want Waze and Amazon Alexa compatibility, get a Ford. If you want a car that doesn't have any of that, get anything but a Ford. Otherwise, you're gonna want a Ford.
Drive a new Escape today with $4,500 bonus cash plus $1,000 owner loyalty cash. Only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
For many kids, just showing up to school is a challenge. Staying through graduation is even harder. So at communities and schools, we do just what our name says. Our staff brings a community of resources to meet each student's needs right in their school, doing whatever it takes to keep kids focused, so they see what we see, a bright future. Join in at communitiesinschools.org.
My name is Dylan Straup, and I am the General Manager of iFly Indoor Skydiving in Oklahoma City. So iFly is a multifaceted company that uses wind tunnels to deliver the dream of flight to all of our customers, while also delivering the sport of body flight. And we also use our wind tunnels to help professional skydivers from all around the world train. We recently partnered with iFly with DreamWorks Universal Studios to bring our customers a video from the How to Train Your Dragon movie. The video gets customers fully immersed in the world of Burke from the movies, and also gets you guys up close and personal to a couple of the key characters from the movies. The How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality video is a highly exhilarating one that our instructors take customers through from start to finish. There are a lot of breathtaking descents, sharp turns and maneuvers through and around cliffs, and they make sure that you get up close and personal and even have to maneuver around some of the characters from the movie. The video is fun for all ages, no matter whether you're young, old, or a kid that's seen all the movies and is the biggest fan in the world. iFly is the only place that has the How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality experience.
6th place, Purdue.
Welcome back to the Edmond Aquatic Center. It's the OSSAA 5A State Championship swim meet. We're at Mitch Park. Mike Ziegenhorn and Max McKnight with you on this Saturday, and they are giving out the awards for the boys. 500-yard freestyle won by Jack Callan of Bishop Kelly.
3rd place, Rollins, Fort Gibson. 2nd place, Hart, Altus. 1st place from Bishop Kelly with a time of 4:39.56, Jack Callan.
Take a look at Jack Callan, all smiles as he, following in his brother's footsteps, Max.
Yes.
Continues to haul in the gold medals here at state.
Got a lot of hardware.
Here's the team points, girls, through 14 events. Now, our unofficial totals, Max has added these up. I'm saying unofficial because we're putting the numbers in ourselves.
We're putting the numbers in ourselves. We'd hope to have the updated ones after this last relay. There were a couple of disqualifications that require some maintenance in the system, so we're waiting on those results. But here we were after 14 events.
Right, and it's now Carl Albert at 204 because they won that girls 200 freestyle relay. And then the Altus girls have 192 because they finished 5th in that relay. They were tied going into that race, but now they have a 12-point lead, and that's what one race, a relay race, can do because the points are doubled as they go along. As far as the boys' standings, Bishop Kelly continues to extend their lead. They're now at 286 after a 40-point win. And then Altus, who was at 209, that should be 209 for Altus instead of 109. They got 32 points. They're at 241. So they lost 8 points in their race. So Kelly extends their lead and looking for their boys' first ever state championship in swimming. So again, we just have 3 events left.
One of those being a relay, which will double points again.
Just the 100 backstroke, 100 breaststroke, and then the 400 free relay are still to come. Well, if you missed any of the events that we broadcast today, the 6A championship, which took place this morning, will be rebroadcast Monday night at 7:30, and then this 5A will be Tuesday at 7:30 only on YourView Channel 3. They are at the blocks for the 100-yard backstroke, the girls B final. Erica Brock, lane 1 from MacArthur. From Hera, Kaylee Jones, lane 2. Alexis Ramsey, lane 3 from Oologah. Bishop Kelly's Abby Mink is in lane 4. Mercedes Davis of Guyman in lane 5. Lindsay Heron in lane 6 from Altus. Brianna Shaw from Carl Albert, lane 7. And Danielle Emoli from Hera, lane 8.
Altus and Carl Albert both have young ladies in this race. Have to see a junior and a senior, how these ladies perform relative to each other. That'll be important points. If you can improve on your seed time or entry place, add points to your team total. We'll look ahead here in a little bit when we get to the A final, see how many they have in each of those. Halfway point of the women's 100 back B final, 30-30 for Abby Mink from Bishop Kelly. Alexis Ramsey in second from Oologah Talala with a 32-22, 32-87 for Mercedes Davis. Making the turn here, stroking for home. Going to go ahead and call this one Zig. I feel pretty comfortable with this one. We'll go ahead and call Abby Mink in lane 4. She's winner here, 102.58. A little closer for second. Mercedes Davis from Guyman with a 107.97, 108.13 for Alexis Ramsey from Oologah Talala. Lindsay Heron from Altus with a 108.96 round out the top 4.
See Abby Mink from Bishop Kelly, your girls B final 100-yard backstroke champion. Just so everybody understands, Max, too, every race points are tallied, whether it's a B final or an A final, toward the overall team totals in the race. You don't get as many points in the B, but it's still points. So if you have racers in those events,
you're bringing home. If you've got a swimmer in the finals here, A or B, you're going home with some points.
Girls competition, Altus had 13 swimmers in the top eight finals. Carl Albert had 11. So that's why those two teams were neck and neck and battling things out, because they had more swimmers than anybody else in the top 8 of each class.
Right.
Or each race. All right, your A final Haley Schapp from Fort Gibson, lane 1. Kylie Catton from Harrow, lane 2. Lauren Stutner from Metro, lane 3. Grace Shepard from Heritage Hall in lane 4. Madeline Harper in lane 5. She's from Duncan. Bridge Creek's Kara Carroll in lane 6. Kylie Allemeyer from Altus in lane 7. And Caitlin Nimisek in lane number 8 from Carl Albert.
Here go these girls in this A final. Grace Shepard, who we saw on the Wards platform earlier tonight, had a really good start there. Had a really good underwater portion of her swim there. Had a couple of good dolphin kicks before she came to the surface of the water. Likewise again there. Went probably about 5 yards out before she surfaced. Passing under the backstroke, flags in first place. She makes her turn, 28.45. Second place just to her inside, Lauren Stutner in lane 3 with a 30.24. Out there in lane 8, Caitlin Nimisek, 30.53. Having a little outside smoke, see if she can bring the race to them from the outside there where nobody's looking for her. Grace cruising down through here. She makes the final few strokes, bringing it home for the gold medal. She's going to touch in a 59.25 for first. Look out there over in 8. How's she going to do? Kind of faded there at the end. Was 103.68. Lauren Stutner in second. Kylie Catton from Hera in third with a 103.85. 104.24 for Madeline Harper from Duncan. Wonder if Caitlin Nimisek out there didn't have a real hard touch or something. Looked like she finished a little ahead of that.
Yeah,
I'd have called her second, but for her to show fifth.
I would have too, and I wouldn't have said you were wrong that time.
Wow. Am I getting better or are you getting worse? Men's 100 backstroke B final.
Caleb Wilson, lane 1. Kogan Fronapple from Bishop Kelly, lane 2. Christian Luckert from Bishop McGinnis in 3. Dalton Ross in 4. Sam Ennis from Altus, lane 5. Alex Najovic in lane 6. Dax Alston in 7. And Zach Kinney in lane 8.
Let's see.
You say that
Bishop,
fast.
I'm about to have to. Thank you very much. As these guys come back down through here. Wow, this is a close bunch field as they come in here for the first 50. I'm not going to call this one. We'll look at the board here. Fort Gibson, Dalton Ross in first with a 29.29. Christian Lukert, McGinnis, 29.54. 30.13 for Sam Annis, holding on to third as these guys head into that 75 turn. Headed for home here. Does look like Dalton Ross continues to maintain a little bit of a lead over the rest of the field. Going to be see how they finish up here. He finishes strong with a 101.45. Coming back in second, Christian Lukert from McGinnis, 102.62. Alex Najkovic finishes out the top 3 with a 102.69 here in the men's 100-yard backstroke B final.
Dalton Ross, a freshman out of Fort Gibson, the big W in that race. Now it's time for the boys' A final. As the athletes begin their march in. The state record 51.20 by
Narayan Naik from Heritage Hall. Narayan went on after his high school career, went on, swam I think a year for Wyoming, then went on and swam for South Carolina, I believe. One of those records that I wouldn't have thought was as long ago as 9 years ago, but good to see that Narayan's still holding on to that.
Will Kobos in lane 1 from Kelly. Fort Gibson's Timmy Hammond, lane 2. Caleb Shy from Altus in lane 3. Walker Wilson, senior from Bishop Kelly in lane 4. Caleb Putman from Carl Albert in lane 5. River Kirkland from Kelly in lane 6. Gage Story, lane 7. And Phoenix Hollenbeck in lane 8. And again, Kelly with 3 swimmers in this A final.
They're stacking some points. They had 1 in that B final. Altus had 1 in the B final, but Altus only has 1 here in this A final. Obviously, Bishop Kelly going to add some points to that lead.
100-yard backstroke. Walker Wilson, 51.68 in the prelims yesterday. A good swim today. He could break the state record in lane 4.
That 4/10 isn't that much to overcome here. We'll just have to watch, see where he is in relation to that. At the first 50, he has already gotten out to an early lead. Has about a body length as they pass about the halfway point on the first 50 back. Here at the first turn, he's at a 24.57.
He's ahead of the pace.
Leaves him some room to back half this race. In second, we had River Kirkland from Bishop Kelly with a 26.2, 26.4 for Caleb Shive. We'll watch Walker Wilson make the turn here. Oh, really good underwaters there. Really churning hard, has a good kick going.
51.20 is what he's got to break.
I think he's going to be really close. I think he's going to do it. No, didn't. Oh, just missed it. 600s, so close.
51.26.
Oh, he's senior.
And 51.20 was the state record, but Walker Wilson first for Bishop Kelly, River Kirkland second, and Caleb Putman from Carl Albert third.
You know, River Kirkland there came in seated 4th, so he moved up 2 spots from his seat placing, so that just adds those points that you know, they're coming back with 37 points out of that. Just those 2 positions, let alone what they placed further on.
15 and 16, the 200-yard freestyle relay.
Now it's time for the awards for the 200-yard freestyle relay.
Event 15, the girls 200-yard freestyle relay. 8th place, Fort Gibson. 7th, Bishop McGinnis. 6th, Duncan. 5th, Altus. 4th, Bishop Kelly. 3rd, Metro Christian. 2nd, Ulaga. 1st place with a time of 1:44.30, Carl Albert High School.
There they were running away with it.
And the girls 200-yard freestyle relay, Carl Albert wins it with a time of 1:44.30 as they edged out Ulaga Talala and Metro Christian. And in that race, Carl Albert took the overall lead in the girls' standings. We're working on getting an update for you, so hopefully we'll have that here in just a minute or so to see how things stand, because they've had, since our last update, another event. We knew that Carl Albert had the lead by 12 points prior to that last event.
Now for event 16, the boys 200-yard freestyle relay.
I'm glad it's all on computer, not an abacus like it was about 2 years ago, because you were having trouble figuring all that out.
And all these, they each have
and then where they
4
finish,
swimmers in an event. Was that 7th or 5th? And
7th place.
Too many numbers to add.
I could do it. It just might take a while.
It'd just be 2 o'clock this morning, tomorrow morning, before we'd be able to figure that out,
6th
right?
place, Guyman.
We'll tweet an update later.
Yeah. 5th place, Duncan.
That's the boys 200-yard freestyle champions.
4th place, Fort Gibson. 3rd place, Altus. 2nd place, Carl Albert. 1st place with a time of 1:31.02, Bishop Kelly High School.
And the Kelly Comets Celebrating Tyler Holm, Matt Hunt, Sam Duda, and Jack Callan. Pushing to beat that state record. They came up just a little bit short, but in another gold medal and still in pursuit of that state championship. First one for Bishop Kelly in Class 5A if they can hold on for the next two events. There's your boys 200-yard freestyle champs. Two races to go. The girls' 100-yard breaststroke, or two events, I should say. There's still 8 races left, but 2 events. This is the 100-yard breaststroke. Girls B final. Favorite in this one, Shelby Fisher out of Hera. She had the best prelim time in this group. Just barely missed being in the A final.
Well, she did, didn't she? Just a couple of tenths, 4 tenths. Boy, really even field throughout the, we look across here as they come by for the first 50. Looks like over in 6 and down here in 2 are the people out in front. Mary Lou Bento from Carl Albert in 6 with a 39.15 with early lead. Jessica Walker from Carl Albert with a 49.41. Then back in the middle of the pool, Sierra Mariano from Lawton Mac in 3rd with a 40.26. Really doesn't seem to be a lot of separation as they head to the 75. It does still look like out there in lane 6, Mary Lou Bento holds that lead. Saw a little something there that seemed a little out of the ordinary. Doesn't seem to have been anything called. Couldn't see it from where I sit, but it does look like down here in 4th, closer to us, Shelby Fisher has overtaken the lead and is in fact going to touch first with a 1:24.28. Mary Lou Bento holds on for 2nd with a 1:25.93, 1:26.31. Kaylin Harrington from Bishop McGuinness round out the top 3 with a 1:26.31.
Carl Albert, 3 swimmers in that. They have 1 swimmer in this A final. Again, they have the lead over Altus. Altus just 1 swimmer. Did not have a swimmer in the B final, but they do have 1 in this A final. Molly Woodruff, Alyssa Russo from Uluga, Lanny Sims from Kelly, Laney Sims, Hannah Newby from Bishop McGuinness, Ashley Leader from Newcastle, Alyssa Hargis from Altus, Phoebe Robinson from Metro, and Sarah Townsend from Fort Gibson. Round out the field in this girls' A final.
Obviously the class of the field here is Hannah Newby, senior from Bishop McGuinness, holds the state record with a 1:01.58 from last year. Entry time, qualifying time from yesterday, a 1:02.12. Expect her to go out and chase that record. She is an Auburn signee, be attending school at Auburn swimming for them next year. Hope the young people watching here in person and at home really pay attention to how Hannah swims this race. She is a national level swimmer on the club level as well, has swimming some really high.
And that is her in the middle of your screen in lane number 4.
Lane number 4.
This is your A final.
Interesting to watch Hannah off these walls. Look at how far out there she gets. There is, as I mentioned earlier, they have to surface by when their arms are at the widest point of their second pull. There isn't the 15-meter mark as they are. See from our above shot here. Takes the arm pull, has a really good dolphin kick there. Propels her almost to the middle of the pool. She touched there in a 29.47, which has her a little ahead of record pace. She's going to have to put together about a 31-second comeback. I think that's well within her wheelhouse to get that done. She's at a 49 now on the way back. Heads up, really reaching far, grabbing a lot of water, kicking hard. Going to be really close. I'm not going to make a call here. We'll just have to let the board read out and see what it says. 1:02 flat, just misses it by a little. Improves from her yesterday's swim. Hannah Newby, another state championship for her from Bishop McGuinness. 108.81 for Ashley Leader from Newcastle in second. Lainey Sims from Bishop Kelly with a 114.77 in third, and then coming home in fourth, Alyssa Hargis from Altus with a 118.27.
Yeah, Newby had set the straight record, as you mentioned yesterday, 101.58. Today, 102 flat. So slowed down just a bit today.
Just a bit.
Not much, but just a little bit.
Well, she had a slower entry time yesterday. State record was from last year. She went a 102 flat
right.
today, improved by 12 hundredths.
2019, not 2018. My bad. See, that's why you're here, to correct me again, right?
Just want to be sure that the family that's listening online.
You're right.
That I don't get letters.
But it's her record.
That
so,
I don't
yeah.
get letters from them.
Well, they can send them to me. Care of Max McKnight in Tulsa.
There you go.
This is the boys' 100-yard breaststroke B final.
Ben Newby in 1, Kenyon Bain in 2, Braylon Sullivan in 3, Thaddeus McLean in 4, Colin Martin in 5, Andrew Saliba in 6, Austin Urbanski in 7, Julian Messick in 8. As we make the turn at the first 50, it is Andrew Saliba from Lawton Mac in first with a 32.2. In second, back in the middle of the pool, Thaddeus McLean from Bing with a 32.68. Boy, just 2.5 tenths behind him is Braylon Sullivan from Duncan with a 32.95. These guys seem to have bunched up a little bit. That camera angle on looking from here, it did seem that Andrew Saliba, if wasn't in the lead, was right in contention for it. But man, here come 5 or 6 guys just stroke for stroke as they come along. I am not going to attempt this.
Call it.
3. Hey, I got one. Braylon Sullivan in lane 3 comes back for the win with a 109.78. 109.89 in second, Colin Martin. And then in third, back here in lane 2, closest to us, Kenyon Bain. You know, I knew if I just keep shooting, I'd eventually hit one.
We're headed to Vegas. Max is on a roll. He's one in a row.
Got to start a streak with one in a row.
Braylon Sullivan from Duncan, the senior, wins the boys B final. Boys A final, 100-yard breaststroke. Mason Beebod from Duncan, a sophomore. Adam Elamadi from Guyman, a senior, in lane 2. Owen Flynn in lane 3 from Heritage Hall. Pruitt Durham from Regent Prep, lane 4. John Ryan Cook in lane 5 from Carl Albert. Paul Hunt from Bishop Kelly in lane 6. Tyler Huang from Bishop Kelly in lane 7, and from Memorial, Tim Rogers. Through 18 events, it's still a 12-point lead on the girls' side. Carl Albert ahead of Altus. So that did not include that last event that we just saw. So there's 1 to go. So my guess, they're still going to be within a dozen points of each other heading into the final relay. Bishop Kelly boys are running away with this thing. They're 70 points ahead of Altus. And they've got they got 2 racers in this, or 2 swimmers in this, and Altus does not have anybody. So they'll increase their lead even more after this race.
And they are seeded 1-2 in that final relay, just looking ahead a little bit. So
are you talking about the girls?
I'm talking about the boys, yeah. But that's really probably too far to.
Yeah, it's going to be.
There's nothing really going to happen there, so probably could call that one now.
Max has officially called it.
Called it. Bishop Kelly.
Boys champion in 5A, but we still have
with 2 events to go.
2 events to go. And this is the boys 100-yard breaststroke. The state record 56.57. Tip Winnery from Deer Creek set it back in 2010.
Another one of those records that's still fun to see being held by somebody from a few years ago. Tip Winnery, good swimmer, a good friend that we've kind of lost touch with a little bit, but good to see that 56-57 still holding on. Out in lane 5, John Ryan Cook with the lead at the halfway. Pruitt Durham was in second as they make the turn. Really tightened up 1-2 between Durham and Cook. They're just stroke for stroke, bobbing up and down. Is going to be holding on for the win. Pruitt Durham from Regent Prep School taking the win with a 59.2. John Ryan Cook closing on the back half with a 101.02, 101.93. Owen Flynn rounds out the top 3, bringing home the bronze from Heritage Hall.
Pruitt Durham from Regent Prep in Tulsa, finishing first with a 59.20 count. John Ryan Cook from Carl Albert second, and Owen Flynn finishing third. Now they're getting set for the 100-yard backstroke awards. Max trying to get an update, count on the girls' team scores so we can get an update. Well, here's what the current stand, not the current, but this is through 18 events that we have. It's 221 to 209, and there was a race that they just had, so that total has not been added into this, but as we were guessing, they're probably still going to be around a dozen-point difference
be that close,
between those two schools.
They're working on that update. We hope to have that before these 400 free relays so we can set the field a little bit better, know where everybody needs to finish in relation to each other.
And in the girls' 400-yard freestyle relay, Carl Albert is in third lane. Altus is in the fourth lane.
Altus has the top seed. Carl Albert has the third seed. Here we go.
The official update. Wow, Carl Albert's increased their lead. It's now at 23 points. They are 247, Altus at 224.
First place
and on the boys' side, Bishop Kelly is 100 points now ahead of the Altus Bulldogs. Called it boys' team. Max got the, you're 2 in a row, Max. You're rolling.
Here we go.
Again, if I had to guess, it's going to be tough for Carl Albert.
They can't make that up.
Yeah,
I mean, assuming a clean race.
Right.
Assuming a clean race, no DQs.
Even with the double points. We can update that. Now, Carl Albert's at 247 and Altus at 224. So it's a 23-point differential in that through 19 events. We just got handed the sheet of paper. So
and there's only an 18-point differential between first and eighth in the A final. So 40 points goes to fourth, 22 goes to eighth.
On the boys' side, Bishop Kelly's now at 367 and Altus at 267. So again, they have increased their lead. It's 100 points, insurmountable. Nothing. And again, even if they DQ
there,
they still win because Altus can only get 40 more points out of it by winning the next race. So Kelly is going to be celebrating with the state championship.
And now for
it looks like Carl Albert,
backstroke.
the girls, are going to win the state championship.
Bishop Kelly.
Go back and find my notes.
Carl
Albert has never won a state championship in either girls or boys.
6 Story Hera.
And neither has Kelly.
Right.
In girls or boys swim.
Gibson. 4th Shive Altus. 3rd
Isn't this fun?
Carl Albert.
I think I've got about one more race left in my voice.
What's your lucky day?
Yes, it is.
First place from Bishop Kelly with a time of 51:26.
And there's still 4 races to go, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's really just one race. It's all 400 free relay.
I guess one race, but 4 events within that race, right?
All perspective, right?
Yeah. The good news is there's only 4 teams in the girls B final, so we don't have to say as much.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
And the girls' 400-yard freestyle relay. The 4 teams, Guyman, Oologah, Piedmont, and Bishop Kelly.
Looks like we're trying to get officials in place, get everybody ready for the next event. Swimmers are loaded, so we're not waiting on them.
Check out the latest episode of Driven Sunday evening, 5:30 this week. Tom Gregory enrolls in the Supercar Academy, and Motor Trends Television's Rick DeBrule takes you behind the scenes of the Barrett Jackson Scottsdale Collector Car Auction. It's on Your View Extra, Channel 93, Sunday at 5:30. It's hotter than your brother-in-law's crawfish recipe, and they are off. Just like that. some discussion on the sheets that are the results that are posted on the whiteboards behind us. And
I've seen a gathering of officials. It's never a very good sign when you see more than 3 white shirts accumulated. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. May have been explaining disqualification or something. So these ladies come back through, finishing out their first 50 of this first leg. It is Guyman in first with a 32.38, 32.81 for Piedmont, 32.89 in third for Ulaga-Talala. Not to leave anybody out of this event, Bishop Kelly in fourth with a 32.98. Still kind of swimming along as they make the turn at the 75, all of them just within a stroke or 2 of each other.
And it is 400 yards, so each swimmer has to do 4 laps.
That's correct.
They are on the 4th lap this first set. The next group is already on the block, ready to roll.
Out there in 6, Bishop Kelly's gotten out to a little bit of a lead, 107.7 to second place Piedmont's 110.29. But all the next 2 behind that, all still in the 110 range. So those 3 just locked pretty tight together. But be sure I get some names right here. It's going to be Piedmont out there. Taylor Rycroft looks like she's already closing up a little bit on Allison Andrews. In fact, those top 3 have really tightened up. As they touch here at the 150, it is going to be Piedmont with a little bit of a lead. 141.84 to Ulaga's 142.49 and Bishop Kelly's 142.68. Saw a little bit of a change there. Bishop Kelly moved up 1 spot from the previous statement. We cut the field in half. The crowd noise kind of goes in half, doesn't it?
It
We don't hear quite the echo that we do when it's a full field of 8. Taylor Rycroft is bringing it into Sydney Hardwick for Piedmont. Bailey Black will be taking it from Reagan Maple. Bethany Jones will be taking it from Bianca Hernandez at Guyman. And then in Bishop Kelly's lane, Allison Andrews handing it off to Laurel Martish.
This is the girls B final, the 400-yard freestyle relay, the final event of the night for girls. The A final will be right after this one. And again, still maybe a little bit of a contest left in the girls team scoring. Carl Albert still out in front by 23 points over Altus. It's going to be tough to overcome. We know the boys, it's pretty much been decided because Bishop Kelly has a 100-point lead going into that final race of the night.
Going in, we knew it would be between Bishop Kelly and Altus. I wouldn't have expected that much of a differential at this point in the event. I thought it would probably be a little closer than that. I really did. That Carl Albert Altus one on the women's side, that I kind of expected both races to be a little closer like that. Anchor leg swimmer in the pool for Piedmont, that'd be Ashley Malinsky. Second in is Ulaga-Talala, Rachel Humberg. Third in was Bishop Kelly, Claire Beasler. And then rounding out the top 4 over down here in lane 3 for Guyman is Mercedes Davis, a name we've heard several times today. These young ladies look to finish out their B final. It is going to be Piedmont holding on to their lead at a 3:56.12. Guyman with a 4 flat 20 in second. Ulaga-Talala 4:02.54. Rounding out these 4, Bishop Kelly with a 4:04.49. See if any change happens in this, but it looks like the field's got spread out enough here that that's probably going to be the way they finish out. Ashley Malinsky looks good and comfortable, although look down here in lane 3, Zig, closing up fast is Mercedes Davis. Not going to have quite enough. Did have a great final swim there, outswam the 4th leg there. Mercedes actually had a 31.64 split to Ashley's 35.43. So, again, Piedmont with the win in the B final, 4:31.55 to Guyman's 4:31.84, 4:38.07 for Bishop Kelly, and Ulaga-Talala with a 4:39.96 as we bring in the A finalists.
And now here's the Setting for the girls 400 freestyle relay, A final. Blowing kisses to the camera. Duncan is in lane 1. Bishop McGinnis, lane number 2. Carl Albert sits in lane 3. Altus in lane 4. Heritage Hall in lane 5. In lane 6, it's Fort Gibson. Hera, lane 7. And MacArthur in lane 8.
Saw a sledgehammer go by there just now, Zig. We talked about not many accessories earlier today, but did see a sledgehammer just then. So somebody brought the hammer.
Peter Gabriel, didn't he? Wasn't that his song?
I think that is
Sledgehammer.
Right. Sledgehammer.
Final girls event of the night in Class 5A. Don't forget, coming up after the final races, we will have the trophy celebrations, the coaches jumping into the pool, and some interviews after it's all over.
Good start, good looking start from our perch.
Another clean start.
Wow, look at Heritage Hall out there in 5. Dylan Beeson really taking the race to him early here, hoping to set an early pace, see what they can do. 4 and 5 between Altus and Heritage Hall, you know, a couple of seconds. That's, you know, in this 400. Little could change throughout that, but obviously Heritage Hall looking to set the early pace with a 26.63 to Altus's 27.55. Almost 2 seconds behind. In third was Carl Albert with a 29.52. Does look like Zadie LaValle closing up maybe a little from their 50 split, but still going to be about a body length behind as they make the exchange. Heritage Hall hits the wall first with a 56.47 to Altus's 57.41. Carl Albert's 102.01 and Fort Gibson's 104.40. Have Laylee Edel from Heritage Hall, Carly Stort from Altus, Micaiah Joseph from Carl Albert, and Rosie Glover from Fort Gibson as they come back here to the 150. It's still Heritage Hall in the lead with a 123.71, 25.66 for Altus, maintaining that about a body length lead. 132.15 Carl Albert, 132.24 for Fort Gibson, but just 600ths behind them is Hera with a 135.3. We come to the halfway point here, get ready to hand it off to the third swimmer. Heritage Hall's Laylee Edel will be handing it off to Phoebe Shepard, and Altus's Carly Stort giving it to Lindsay Herron. See what Lindsay has here, if she can bring them back into the race a little bit. Third's Carl Albert, 2:05.15. 2:10.92 Fort Gibson, 2:11.07 Hera. Looks like Heritage Hall adding to that lead a little bit, probably only slightly. 2:23.10 to a 2:24.39 with Altus.
Stillwater has the state record in this event set a year ago, 3:38.32, and of course Stillwater was the 4-time state champ in 5A. They got bumped up to 6A this year.
Had a pretty good showing for their first year in 6A. To give other teams, look here, Zig on this second 50 of this swim. Altus has crept up here into the lead, going to take almost a body length lead. Altus now with a lead of a 2:55 flat to Heritage Hall's 2:56.77. That third leg, they outsplit them 30.61 to a 33.67. Carl Albert holding on to third with a 3:09.8, 3:12.82 for Fort Gibson. Crowd's really getting into this. I feel like I'm shouting here. Probably sounds like that at home too, but crowd's really into it. A lot of excitement.
I can't hear you saying it too loud. What?
4th swimmers in the pool. Altus in the lead by only 700ths. 3:22.74 to a 3:22.81. 3:30.30 for Fort Gibson. Heritage Hall has taken the lead back by almost a body length here in the first 50 of this anchor leg 100.
And they win it.
They win it.
Heritage Hall Chargers.
Heritage Hall 351.44 to Altus's 352.91. Who's it going to be for third? Bishop McGinnis came back last half of this race, finished third with a 4:08.94. Edges out Fort Gibson's 4:11.12.
Carl Albert finished sixth, Max, but at this point it didn't matter. They had enough of a lead ahead of Altus, who finished second in that race. And they are going to be your 5A state champions. Carl Albert. But Heritage Hall with the big win. Dylan Beeson, Lael Edel, Phoebe Shepard, and Grace Shepard victorious. Now your boys 400-yard freestyle relay. We're on the boys B final. Did you add up the points?
I haven't yet. I was going to kind of get this started. We'll see where we are here.
The boys B final. There's four teams in this boys B final. Mount St. Mary in lane 3, Piedmont lane 4, Tulsa Memorial lane 5, and Bethany in lane number 6.
273.
$258. Beat it by 15 points. Yep. Carl Albert. Congratulations to the Carl Albert girls. 5A state champs, first ever swimming championship in school history. A school long known for their football. Gary Rose had coached there a number of years on the football program, and now Kirk Norman has led them to their first state championship in girls swimming.
I'm excited for Kirk. I'm excited for whoever wins. Linda Wigington's been down there at Altus for years, has won several state championships. Just a delightful lady. Kirk's a great guy. I've known him a long time too. Good to see him get that first state championship. Hope he's down there getting ready to get wet. These guys come back down through here, finishing out the first 100 of this men's B final 400 free relay. It's going to be Tulsa Memorial first in with a 57.88. Metro St. Mary. I need to turn my page so I can look at the sheet right. Mount St. Mary in second with a 1 flat 68. And third, Piedmont with a 104.80. Closing up a little bit here on the second swimmers. We're tightening up race a little bit. Mount St. Mary in the lead with a 132.34.
I think Memorial was in the lead. There's something wrong with that pad.
We've got a touch pad problem. The way it's reading on the board is how they're actually swimming. Top three making the turn at the 175 are just neck and neck. We'll see somebody either missed a pad or didn't get a good touch or something, because the way that read on the board isn't how it actually was.
Now the lead has changed.
Now the lead has changed. It is Piedmont.
Officially.
Good touch there, 206.60. 209.40, Tulsa Memorial in second. Mount St. Mary's in third with a 210.12. Out in sixth, Bethany in fourth place with a 215.36.
Boys 400-yard freestyle relay. Heat B, second to last race of the night. And again, only 4 teams in this event. Mount St. Mary lane 3, Piedmont lane 4, Memorial lane 5, and Bethany in lane number 6.
Malcolm Williams out there for Piedmont has a good smooth stroke going. Looks like he's real comfortable in his race right now. Just looking to extend the lead a little bit, bring home those 9th place points for Piedmont. Malcolm's going to be handing it off to Caleb Welch. on the anchor leg for Piedmont. Out in 5, Tulsa Memorial Chargers. Nicholas Chorette handing it off to Clifford Helgeson, who we mentioned. I think he won the B final of the men's 500. Mount St. Mary's, Leo Owens is anchor for them, and then for Bethany over in lane 6, Michael Collins bringing it home for them. Piedmont extending their lead a little bit. 133.66 with 50 to go. Race for second tightened up a little bit. Those guys touch almost in unison. 141.79 to a, I'm sorry, 341.79 to a 341.82. Only 300s between those guys. That'll be a fun race. See how those guys do. We watch them at that final turn for them. Does look like Mount St. Mary's turned just a little ahead. Had a good push off his wall. Bringing home the win though is Piedmont for a 4:03.30. First place here in the B finals, bringing home those 9th place points. It is going to be Metro St. Mary in second with a 4:12.02. A couple of seconds behind Tulsa Memorial with a 4:14.07. Then outside lane being 6th this time, Bethany with a 4:24.79. So we get ready for the boys A final.
So Piedmont wins the B final. And now it's what they like to say, it's money time in the A final for the boys. Again, Bishop Kelly's already wrapped things up. But the boys 400 freestyle relay A final. Duncan in lane 1, followed by Carl Albert. Fort Gibson in lane 3. Kelly sitting in lane 4 is the favorite in this event. Altus lane 5. Hera in lane 6, MacArthur in lane 7, and sitting in lane 8, Ulaga Talala. There's only 2 classifications in swimming. So
5A
some of these
6A.
5A, there might be a 2A, 3A, 4A school participating against these 5As, other 5A schools.
Ulaga Talala, I don't know that, you know, in the other classifications, I'm guessing they're not 5A.
No, they are not.
Bridge Creek, I know Bridge Creek is growing a little, but you know, some being. No, the conclusion is foregone, but we do have Bishop Kelly and Altus. That could be a good race there based on their qualifying time, 2 seconds different. Be fun to see these guys battle it out for bragging rights in this relay.
State record 3:15.62 set a year ago by Bishop Kelly. And another clean start. We finished the whole day with clean starts in every race. At least that we know of, right?
As far as we know.
They don't stop them.
There were some early takeoffs that we know from some of the relays, but I don't recall any false starts.
Yes, we did not have a false start at all in all 44 races that we called today between 6A and 5A.
Jack Callan out first for Bishop Kelly in the 22:37, setting the tone early for this race. Just 23:28, really about a second difference is Altus. With this many links in the pool, a lot can change. There was a 2-second qualifying difference, but see what young Jack Callan can do here on his 100. 46.8, first 100 for him. 24.43 for his second 50 split. 49.61 for Altus. Down here in lane 2, 53.55 for Carl Albert. Fort Gibson hot on their heels with a 54.09. Have Sam Duda in the pool for Bishop Kelly, Canyon Hart from Altus. As Bishop Kelly just adds to that lead that Jack Callan gave him. Have to see how some of these other young men can do for them.
Yeah, Duda continues to increase the lead.
That 3:15.62 for Bishop Kelly from last year's pretty steep hill to climb, but it looks like these boys are going out and going to try to take a crack at it, see where they are here. The halfway point, if they make this handoff. Still Bishop Kelly with a 1:37.45.
That's going to be close.
Have almost 7 seconds on Altus with a 1:44.38, 1:48.93 for Fort Gibson. Still hot on their heels is Harrow with a 1:50.90.
If they keep the pace up, they may break the state record that they set last year.
Tyler Huang went out with a 23.58 in his first 50. It's a 2:01.03. See if he can back half his 100. Altus's DeMarco De La Paz went out in the 24.77, so not that far off of it. That's just an awful lot of ground to have to make up. Tyler Huang really having a good, strong swim here. He hands it off. 2:27.48. He went a 26.45 second split. Wilson Walker, we've seen him, his name called his name quite a few times early. He's in the water swimming anchor for Bishop Kelly. He's already on the back half of his first 50 free. See what his first 50 split is. He touches in a 23.06, really good split there.
And they have lapped a couple of teams in the field.
He's going to need a 25 coming back to get that record. 3:15.62, they're at a 3:06, going to be really close. 3:10 now is going to be able to come back that last half pool in 5 seconds.
He's going to get it.
Like it quite.
Oh, 3:15.68.
6/100ths of a second.
Wow.
Missed the record. Had a good second 50 swim, 25.14. Winning with a 3:15.68. Bishop Kelly in second, 3:26.76 for Altus. Coming home in third, we have Fort Gibson with a 3:35.63. Rounding out the top four, Harrow with a 3:39.85.
Wow. Kelly,
Man,
that close.
6/100ths of a second.
Unbelievable.
That was a great race. Fun swim.
Great way to end the night in Class 5A. Kelly wins the 400-yard freestyle. It almost sets another state record. They would have broken the record they set 1 year ago. They beat their prelim time, Max, by 10 seconds.
That was an impressive swim. That was fun to watch. A little disappointment from them down there. They've got nothing to hang their head about. I'm sure part of that is fatigue, not just disappointment. But those young men, I thought that was a pretty steep hill to climb. About halfway through, I thought these guys are serious about this. They're going after it.
All right, we'll be back with the awards and some interviews and wrap things up. You're watching the OSSAA 5A State Championships. It's the Ford Game of the Week.
Ford Expedition has more second and third row legroom than Tahoe. More cargo room, better fuel economy, and as J.D. Power calls it, the best large SUV in initial quality and vehicle appeal. Guess you better make room in the garage.
Drive Expedition today with 0% financing for 60 months plus $4,000 total savings only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
It's about cars, about why we love them, the roads we drive, and the places we go. Driven, from the classics to new tech and toys to more than a couple laps around the track. Driven tells the stories from the road with a few car buying tips and some advice to keep your car on the road and off the rack. Sundays at 5:30 on Your View. Driven, the drive, the adventure.
My name is Dylan Straup, and I am the general manager of iFly Indoor Skydiving in Oklahoma City. So iFly is a multifaceted company that uses wind tunnels to deliver the dream of flight to all of our customers, while also delivering the sport of body flight. And we also use our wind tunnels to help professional skydivers from all around the world train. We recently partnered with iFly with DreamWorks Universal Studios to bring our customers a video from the How to Train Your Dragon movie. The video gets customers fully immersed in the world of Burke from the movies and also gets you guys up close and personal to a couple of the key characters from the movies. The How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality video is a highly exhilarating one that our instructors take customers through from start to finish. There are a lot of breathtaking descents, sharp turns and maneuvers through and around cliffs, and they make sure that you get up close and personal and even have to maneuver around some of the characters from the movie. The video is fun for all ages, no matter whether you're young, old, or a kid that's seen all the movies and is the biggest fan in the world. iFly is the only place that has the How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality experience.
Elamande Gaiman. Fifth,
We're back.
Bishop Kelly.
Class 5A OSSAA State Swimming Championship is complete. They're giving out the final awards. This is for the 100 breaststroke awards for the boys. So the event is now complete. And we can tell you the champion in Class 5A girls is Carl Albert. They claimed their first title in school history. Bishop Kelly boys have claimed their first championship in 5A. And congratulations to both of those schools for taking home the hardware today, Max.
I'm really happy for both of those people. They're really, you know, all these coaches are good people, but known each of these for a little while, and they work hard, they train hard, they've got good kids. Good to see them each take home the state hardware.
First state title for Ellen Glasgow at Kelly.
Now event 21, the girls 400-yard freestyle relay.
And now the awards for the girls
8th
400
place, Duncan.
freestyle relay. Long day here for the officials and all the volunteers.
7th place, MacArthur. 6th place, Carl Albert. 5th place, Hera. 4th place, Fort Gibson. 3rd place, Bishop McGinnis. 2nd place, Altus. 1st place with a time of 3:51.44, Heritage Hall.
And you take a look at what Heritage Hall did to win the 400 free relay. Congratulations to them and the team of Dylan Beeson, Lael Edel, and the sisters Phoebe Shepard, a senior, and Grace Shepard, a freshman.
How fun is that?
All smiles. Look at
All
that. Huh?
smiles.
Don't you love that?
I do. Good stuff. Look at all of them.
Yeah, even the second place, third place, they're all smiling. And why not? They worked hard the last years to get ready and prepared for this. Yeah.
Right.
It's swimming. They get up at 5 in the morning and go swim.
A lot of times they do. Some of them have 2-a-days, and
They'll come back after school and swim again.
Swim again.
The boys 400-yard freestyle relay.
Thank you. Now the final results for the boys 400 relay.
8th place, Ulaga. 7th place, MacArthur.
I'll go get the part.
6th place, Duncan. 5th place, Carl Albert. 4th place, Hera. 3rd place, Fort Gibson. 2nd place, Altus. In 1st place with a time of 3:15.68, Bishop Kelly High School.
Bishop Kelly on the top of the medal stands, all happy smiles there too. Of course, why not? You just won that event, and you just won the state title.
They're smiling a little bit more now. That they were a little aggravated in the pool. They didn't set that state record, but I think it's like, okay, I get that. You're frustrated because they had that goal in mind. They'd already captured state. They're thinking, hey, let's try and set the state record.
And it comes so close.
Oh, yeah.
600.
Yeah.
So
if it had been a
close.
second and a half, they might not have been so upset.
Right.
But it was
Yeah, you get that, right?
600ths of a second, you're going, oh my gosh.
What could have happened different, you know?
It was a faulty pad. Just say it was a faulty pad.
There
Right?
you go. There you go. We were having safe takeoffs.
Yeah.
We didn't want to be DQ'd for a takeoff.
Exactly. All right, we'll come back and wrap things up. You're watching the Ford Game of the Week on Your View.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month, the place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series and the brand with the most J.D. Power, IQS, and Appeal Awards. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner. Get 0 for 72 months with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days, plus $2,500 cash back on F-150. Only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
My name is Dylan Straup, and I am the general manager of iFly Indoor Skydiving in Oklahoma City. So iFly is a multifaceted company that uses wind tunnels to deliver the dream of flight to all of our customers, while also delivering the sport of body flight. And we also use our wind tunnels to help professional skydivers from all around the world train. We recently partnered with iFly with DreamWorks Universal Studios to bring our customers a video from the How to Train Your Dragon movie. The video gets customers fully immersed in the world of Burke from the movies and also gets you guys up close and personal to a couple of the key characters from the movies. The How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality video is a highly exhilarating one that our instructors take customers through from start to finish. There are a lot of breathtaking descents, sharp turns and maneuvers through and around cliffs, and they make sure that you get up close and personal and even have to maneuver around some of the characters from the movie. The video is fun for all ages, no matter whether you're young, old, or a kid that's seen all the movies and is the biggest fan in the world. iFly is the only place that has the How to Train Your Dragon virtual reality experience.
And welcome back. There you see the celebration and the state championship trophy handed off to the Carl Albert High School swim team as the girls win their first ever championship in school history. So a big win for them. Max, and your thoughts as they beat Altus 273 to 258.
You know, this one came down just kind of like I really thought it would. I knew it would be nip and tuck all day long. You know, we were adding points all along.
There's Carl Albert. That was Altus up there before, but there is Carl Albert right there.
There's Carl Albert with all the excitement. But, you know, we were adding points all day long. You know, who finished where. So, you know, I didn't do the math on what the final difference was, 13, 17 points, something like that. So it was just nip and tuck all along. Good to see Kirk Norman there kneeling down in front with his first state championship.
There's the team trophy. Of course, this banner that they hold up in celebration. And big smiles from the entire team. As we mentioned, Carl Albert picking up the first state championship in school history.
Zig, you had the numbers. I forget how many you said, how many people they brought to finals today, 18, 19, something. Was that them?
I think it was.
When you look at all the girls in that picture there, that again, they and Altus, okay, they brought 11. Altus brought 13. That's how you do that. You bring that many people to all these things, you just kind of have to outman them, outlast them at the end.
There you take a look at the final team points. Carl Albert 273 and Altus with 58. Very early on, after about 6 events, through 6 events, Carl Albert was sitting in 6th place. Max, and they really turned it on.
And then
ahead
at one point they were tied.
They were tied.
About halfway through they were tied.
And then that 200 freestyle relay they won. And Altus finished in 5th place, and that's where they kind of separated themselves.
Ready.
We're going to talk to the winning boys coach, Bishop Kelly. Look at that, all smiles, Ellen Glasgow. You can't contain yourself. Congratulations, first ever state swimming championship for Bishop Kelly. How does it feel?
It feels awesome. It was really team effort. Everybody talks about Jack, but I mean, we had so many swimmers show up today and do exactly what they were supposed to do.
They make your job real easy, don't they?
They do. They definitely do.
Hey, yeah. Ellen, tell us a little bit. I really kind of have 2 questions, I guess. I think you lost last year's state championship by 2 points, if I remember right.
Yes.
So tell us about, rebounding from that. How do you keep them focused? How do you keep them on point? And then, what is it like to coach swimmers like those Callan boys?
Well, last year was really tough on the kids. We really thought that we had a really good shot, and when that happened, they were really upset, but I think we really used it to fuel us. Anytime they were getting distracted or things, we remembered last year and really focused on coming back and improving on that. Coaching people like the Callan boys, it's the easiest thing because they know what to do and they do it, and they're two of the most focused individuals that I've ever seen swim. I mean, as well as our other swimmers, they're all of our kids that were swam today were super focused the whole season, and it was really nice to just see it all come together.
We've really got a fun team to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah, you kind of put the throttle down too. You won by over 100 points. I mean, that's like a blowout in any sport, right?
It was. It felt really good. We didn't want any scary things like last year.
Didn't want any drama of last year, right?
Exactly.
Well, hey, I think you've got a date to get in the pool now, right?
You got to get the trophy first,
yes,
though.
Yes, I do.
Get your trophy, get in the pool. Congratulations, Ellen.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ellen. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Ellen Glasgow, the swim coach at Bishop Kelly, and the boys winning the first state championship in swimming for boys or girls in the history of Bishop Kelly. So they take it this year in Class 5A, and there you see the final team points, 106. They beat Altus 407 to 301, and then Fort Gibson, respectable for the Fort Gibson boys and girls teams as well, both finishing in the top 8, Max.
Yeah, very good. This one was a little different than I expected. Kind of expected the other one to go that way. I really expected this one to go that same way. To think there would be a 106-point victory, I never saw that coming. I thought we'd, maybe a 30 or 40-point one way or the other, but I just didn't see that coming.
Well, she said they didn't want any drama coming down to the end of it, where they ended up losing by 2 points like they did a year ago to Booker T. Washington.
Ellen, just real quick, I've gotten to know her the last few years since she's been coaching that group. Just in some of our conversation, she knows a little about competition. She was on the Oklahoma State University soccer team while she went to college, so she's a competitor to the heart as well. There they are getting their trophy.
Trying to get Kirk Norman, hopefully. I'm not sure if he's off celebrating with his team, but he's the girls coach at Carl Albert. And there you see, congrats to Bishop Kelly. Now they're getting ready to throw. Coach Glasgow in the pool.
There she goes. Now she's wet.
A great time to celebrate with your team and enjoy
Cannonball.
the fruits of all the labor that they've had in this day to get to this point. Congratulations.
Oh, there's Jack. Oh, yeah, they're gathering them all up, get everybody in the picture. Hey, they're not all in there. They've got more than what do you see in there? Six swimmers maybe, counting, 7 counting Ellen. I don't know why the rest of them aren't in. Maybe they already dried up and on the bus. I don't know, but that's great. Love seeing stuff like that. That's part of that team spirit and what makes this OSSAA high school championship so much fun.
Well, final thoughts, Max, as we wrap up a day. You saw Bartlesville girls earlier today in 6A win a 5th straight championship. Then tonight you see girls from Carl Albert winning their first state championship. 5A boys, Bishop Kelly, their first ever state championship. And then 6A boys, Jinx winning for the 18th time and second time in the last 3 years.
You know, we saw this morning, we kind of saw some dynasties in action, you know, when you mention all those things. Flip that to this afternoon, see some first-time champions. It'll be interesting to kind of look back through this thing after the fact, see who's bringing how many people back, what will we expect next year. Kind of probably early already to be thinking about next year, but you know, will we be repeating? Will people be reloading? Where will we be a year from now?
And next year we'll be back in Jinx.
Go back to Jinx next year.
It's a 2-year rotation, so the last 2 years have been in Edmond. The next 2 years they'll move it over to the Jinx.
5A will be morning next year, 6A will be afternoons.
And they'll flip-flop that as well. So a good time was had by all. For everyone here at Your View, for Max McKnight, I'm Mike Ziegenhorn. Thanks so much for joining us on the Ford Game of the Week.